Well, it looks like I'm in the hot seat, boys and girls, so I'll start this video off today. We're going to be talking about the CT junction of the spine. That's the connection between the neck and the upper back. It's the biggest problem area that we typically see with chiropractic patients. Everywhere I go as a chiropractor, I'm people watching, and I'm always looking at posture, and tech neck is running rampant. It's crazy right now. This is the biggest problem area that 99% of America has. I guarantee you, your mama has it, your brother probably has it, you probably have a little bit of it. So CT junction of the spine, what are we talking about? This is a side view if you were looking at me from the right side. There's three big areas in your spine where you're supposed to have curves, all them nice curves. The first area is right here below your head, in your neck from a side profile view. You hear us talk a lot about this at the chiropractic clinic. We're supposed to have this nice arc. It's called the arc of life. It's a 43-degree arc, somewhere between 42 and 45 degrees. It should be nice and curved like this. Over time, I'm guilty of this. Everybody's guilty of it. You're driving like this, right? Texting, hunching forward, sitting at the computer for hours on end. What ends up happening is gravity pulls this big noggin of ours, bowling ball head, forward. And as it starts pulling it forward, we start losing that curve. When we lose that curve, our neck gets super straight. We build muscle memory up around it. All the muscles in our neck support that structure. And then over time, it causes an undue amount of stress to accumulate all the way down here at the bottom. And the easiest way to see that is like, you can see right there, it's a stress point. That stress point and the CT junction of the spine, the connection between the cervical, thoracic, CT, purple, blue, the purple blue part of the spine, we end up having hunchback, dowager's hump, that buffalo neck, whatever you want to call it. This bone right here, the first blue one, the last purple one, is called our vertebral prominence, and generally speaking, that protrusion on the back part of the bone sticks out further for most people anyway, so it's already gonna kind of be there. So if you're feeling on the back part of your neck and you feel like the hump that's right there, everybody has that hump, but that hump becomes more pronounced, much more noticeable from a cosmetic standpoint if you lose the curve in your neck. So I would say 99% of the patients that we treat in Stronghold Health and chiropractors across the spectrum are dealing with lost curve angles in the neck and straightening in the neck. So CT junction of the spine is one of the prime areas that you end up having stress, compression, nerve pressure, tight unbalanced muscles, and all of the rest. My hot seat time's done.
Spine me. Hey guys, Dr. Zach here. I'm also going to talk about the wonderful CT junction. What does CT stand for? Cervico-thoracic. So you have multiple regions of the spine. You have your cervical spine, thoracic spine, lumbar spine. We're talking about this area today. Have you ever been at Kroger's and seen an old lady pushing a shopping cart and seen a big old hump in her back? That's called the dowager's hump. Bad posture over time leads to that. It's gravity weighing on that spine, slowly but surely causing a big old hump right there. With bad posture over years, the gravity straightens out that neck. Great. That's my alarm. All right, so where were we? All right, it's most prominent in the female patients. Women also tend to have a little bit more weight in their chest than the average male. So that also has more gravity up front, causing women to lean forward. That's just how we're made. So this hump right here, this is what people come wanting to get corrected, and we can totally help you out with that. So how do we do that? We do our muscle rehab in the back with the vibe plate, so we have you wear weights.
We're vibing.
That helps correct that posture, bring that curve back to where it should be. Adjustments also help fix that issue as well. So what kind of symptoms would you see with that big old buffalo hump right here? You have pressure on these nerves that go to your brachial plexus, which we talked about in another video. It can cause all types of pain in your shoulder blades, all the way down to your fingers. A lot of people also say that they hold their stress in their shoulders. So that is a combination of multiple things, but whenever you do start to have this big hump right here, these muscles that should be about this short end up stretching out, so they're a lot more prone to spasm. And so over time, those muscles get fatigued because they are overstretched. So we really want to work on getting that posture back, get everything back to the ideal, normal, homeostatic state. If you have any more questions, please come find me. I'm around. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Well, I'm back. So let me finish this video out. There's a thing we have in Stronghold we call the mix, fix, set protocol. You probably haven't heard a lot about this, but when it comes to the CT junction part of the spine, mix, fix, set protocol is very simply an easy way to remember how do we go about correcting this. So mix, we want to warm the spine up. That's where the traction is going to come in, where you're doing the repetitive cervical traction. That's going to pump the discs in your neck. It's going to stretch out a lot of the muscles and soft tissue and warm everything up so it makes it easier for the adjustment. Then you're going to come in, you're laying down on the adjusting table here. Doctors are going to adjust you based on your x-rays. So some of us might need shared loading with the arthrostim. Some of us might need shared loading at this specific bone, driving it forward. Some of us might need it at this one. Some of us might need it a little bit lower on the T1 slope.
Wow, that was a great adjustment, Dr. Max. Are we done?
Oh no, Dr. Zach, we've got one more thing.
Oh,
face the adjuster gator for me and look down.
Okay.
And this is the arthrostim. What we're doing here is bombarding the proprioceptors in your facet joints to help reset the cerebellum, the balance center of your brain.
Wow, I feel balanced.
You look balanced, Dr. Zach.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The point is we're adjusting you based on your x-rays and we're putting the bones in a better position. So that's the fix part of it. So mix is warm it up, fix is putting it in a better position, and then set, we're trying to get the muscles and all the soft tissue around your spine to hold it in that healthy orientation with your head directly above your tailbone. And we're trying to take as much stress and pressure off of that CT junction of your spine. So the set protocol is the vibration platform, the body weights. We're vibing. But then also what you do at home. So the repetitive motion of spinal flossing and disc pumping and isometric muscle holds that we prescribe for you guys to do at home. So mix, fix, set protocol is a time and repetition play. If your neck looks like that, it didn't develop that way overnight. It took a long time to get that way. We're talking about years, 12, 15 years worth of muscle memory. So when we do the mix, fix, set protocol, we adjust you and you walk out today and you're feeling better than you were before. Your spine is in a better position. The problem is muscle memory dies hard. So you're gonna go home and over the next 24, 48 hours, what ends up happening is your body's gonna pull everything back to where it's used to it being. So if you did the protocol though, it's going to pull it back just a little less severe than before. So every time it takes you back to that resting position for your posture is better than it was the day before because you keep working on it. It's like that 1% improvement principle. So every time you do the mix, fix, set protocol, it's taking you back, it's going to take you back, it's going to take you back, and then eventually 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, you take a new x-rays and your spine's actually in a better position. So anyway, let's fix that CT junction part of your neck. Let's get rocking and rolling and let's do that mix, fix, set protocol. If you guys have any questions on home exercises, adjustment protocol, or flow through the office, don't ever hesitate to ask one of our team members. We're here to help you guys.
Hey everyone, I'm back. I just wanted to say thank you for watching our video on the CT junction.
Jamaica,
Bobsled
team.
Bobsled left, bobsled right, and we're gonna tip the table. Going up.
Oh man.
Oh,
We were dying there.
we're going up.
Going up.
So as lift. Hold right there. Up, slight rotation. Bring your leg outward a little bit. keeping that rotation, hold for 5 seconds. If this is too easy, you're going to take your head weights, you're going to strap your head weights to your ankle for that added resistance. So do it on a mobility cushion for unstable surface. Number 2, use your hands for support if you need. Number 3, you're going to lift that leg up. Number 4, you're going to rotate this leg bone out just a little bit, so it's rotating it this way. Number 4, you're going to bring your knee out, away from midline, and then the last step is you're holding it for a 5-second muscle hold. Feeling that right up in there. That's your psoas muscle. That's where you want to feel it. Hey everybody, this is Dr. David Hausman.
I'm Dr. Zach Farmer.
And we're chiropractors in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we wanted to discuss the arc of life, so the neck curve and why the heck is it so important. So what are you holding?
I'm holding a spinal model of
It's like a severed
the
spinal
neck.
model.
Well, yeah, it's not real, it's a recreation.
There you go.
So this is what the bottom of the head looks like, right here. And these bones are your top 7 vertebrae from here all the way down to here. So you notice that it is making a arc, which is one of the best engineering structures the Romans came up with.
Yeah, it's actually in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm sure plenty of other places around the nation. Arced bridges in engineering, we get the 43-degree arch from the innate design of the human spine. In studying the human spine and seeing the arc in there, it's one of the strongest structures known to man. The arc itself is great for holding weight, and so we carry around this bowling ball head all day long. So this is facing the opposite direction. That's front, that's back. The bowling ball head for us, many of us, it weighs about 14 to 16 pounds. You carry that thing around literally all day long. So you have to have a really healthy curve structure in your neck to be able to carry that weight and distribute it equally through each of those bones. Over time, what happens is you start losing the curve, and as you lose the curve and your neck straightens, might call this military neck or tech neck. And the same amount of force pushing down from your head, just gravity doing what it does. Gravity's our best friend. It compresses all day long. It starts putting more force on one of those joints in your neck than all of them sharing that weight burden. And over time, with enough time and repetition, it starts causing degeneration in the one joint. You weren't born with an arc in your neck though. And that's an interesting point I did want to make sure I talked about. When you're born, you come out and baby you is in the womb. This is a little spine. You're primarily going to have this curve in the middle part of your back. And then you're going to spend belly time and you're going to start strengthening the neck muscles, picking up your head. And that's when we start developing that neck curve. And then my daughter, she just started walking last week.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, super cute. She walks around like a little penguin now, but she'll get better in time. When they start becoming bipedal, or putting all of our weight on 2 legs, that's when we begin developing the curve in the low back. So the only curve that you're really born with is this middle back curve right here, thoracic or dorsal curve. The curves that develop are the curves that are in our neck and in our low back. So when we start walking, we've developed that curve in the low back and then finish developing the curve in the neck. So from a side point or a side vantage point, you should have 3 curves in the spine. A forward curve in the neck, and that curve should measure somewhere between 42 and 45 degrees. It should not be straight, right? So it shouldn't be like that. It should arc in the neck. And the only way sometimes to see that is by taking x-rays. The second curve is going to be in the middle part of the back. It's about 60 degrees, curving this way. And then in the low back, it's very similar to the neck curve, where it should be a forward curve about 40 degrees down in the low back. So a good chiropractor, if you go to a good chiropractor, should know curve angles. Most chiropractors focus on that neck curve. We also take pride in focusing on the neck curve first and foremost as well, because it's the easiest one to affect positive change into and retrain postural muscles to actually support and hold the proper curve in your neck. So Why the heck do we call it the arc of life?
The arc of life. Well, it's quite
This might
simple.
be an easier model to show.
The arc of life. So, your brain is up here in your head. With this arc, all that nerve flow as well as blood flow, the arteries, can go right through there, flowing evenly. Whenever we start to lose that arc, we start to lose the integrity of that structure, and all of these angles, if you can see right here, that these arteries are taking, start to get pinched on, start to lose blood flow, start to lose strength. We see all types of wild symptoms such as radiating pain, tingling, burning, numbness going down the arms, going down the legs. That can all be caused right from this arc of life because this is the immediate entrance and exit from the brain.
So I think we could boil it all down to say, Dr. Zach is saying that we as chiropractors don't really care about the bones. What we care about is what's inside those bones. So our nervous system, and that's really, chiropractors are essentially doctors of the nervous system because that's what first and foremost we care the most about. So our brain is life force, right? It's the originator. It controls, runs, harmonizes, regulates, coordinates every single organ and system in the body. And so the life force or the energy or whatever you want to call it that's in your brain that flows through your nervous system, it has to flow through your spinal cord. So it's like a wire system.
Right, yeah.
Right? We weren't born wireless, we were born wired. So that wiring has to be protected, and on MRI cross-sectional research, it actually shows that when you have a curve in your neck, the spinal cord inside those bones, 78 million nerves, that big, thick, bundled spinal cord, is in the most relaxed position. And what the research also shows is that when you lose the curve, it tethers and stretches the spinal cord. And it's easy to see if you look down at the bottom, where in a relaxed position, you'll see the spinal cord right there is pretty long. It overhangs that last bone. And when you start to lose the curve, it starts tethering and pulling upward into the spinal canal. So the tension on the spinal cord is what we're trying to remove. That's what we care about, because that tension on the spinal cord interferes with your brain being able to send signals down and through your nervous system to every organ and system in the body. So like the nerves that come out here and here and here and here on the left and on the right side, they all go to different organs in the body. And so at the end of the day, what do we care about?
We care
The
about
bones or
the neurology
nerves.
nerves. Yes.
Neurology nerves. We care most about the neurology nerves. So that's why we call it the arc of life, because all the life that comes from your brain to every organ in the body has to flow through that arc, 43-degree arc, super sound, strong structure. But inside the bones, it creates a nice relaxed position for your spinal cord. Arc of life. We're chiropractors in Nashville, Tennessee. We operate Stronghold Health right in downtown Nashville. So if you're in the area, please do come see us. What do we want people to do for our page?
Like and subscribe.
Yes, please. It helps us out so much. We really are shooting for that goal to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we would love your help and your support. And if you found this beneficial, please share it with a friend, send them a link, and send out the good word.
Yeah.
Take care of your arc of life. If you haven't gotten checked, if you haven't been to a chiropractor that's taken x-rays, that is the best way to do it. Maybe that's where we should actually leave them with.
Yeah.
What is the best way to get the arc of life evaluated?
We can do several tests without the x-ray. We can do range of motion tests. We can do some muscle testing. We can check that tension. We can do nerve testing, which we test the radiating
sensory, like sensation
Yeah.
down the arms. And so exam is a good way to get tested.
Yes.
But ultimately, the exam isn't going to tell us, right?
It can give us a good
Idea,
guess, a good
right?
idea of what's going on. About a 70% idea of what's going on, but the x-rays, by far, the most black and white.
X-rays. So
100%.
that's always going to be the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
So exam, that's going to include muscle, joint, nerve testing. We also check range of motion. And then you couple that with digital x-rays. And the digital x-rays are going to show us beyond the shadow of a doubt what's taking place beneath the surface, so we know how healthy is your arc of life. So if you want that checked out, all you got to do is comment, message us, and let us know. Arc out.
Arc out. Get your arc checked.
Pit ball exercise. Step 1, take your chin piece from your traction unit. You're going to place that in your armpit. Step 2, you're going to straighten your arm, lock your elbow, and flay your fingers with a flat hand. Step 3, squeeze your elbow towards your ribs while keeping your arm straight. Make sure that you're standing upright, staring straight forward as you do this. When you squeeze, you're counting for 5 seconds for a muscle hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. 15 reps, 5-second muscle holds to be performed once or twice a day, depending on what you've been prescribed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Elbows on the door, feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and we're gonna squat straight down, let the weight of our body pull up on the head and neck. It's a 1-second sustained hold at the bottom, and you're pivoting right back up. 30 repetitive tractions in the morning, and in the evening, right before you go to bed. This is the equivalent of flossing your spine. For the traction, for under your chin placement, you're gonna squat down, hold it for 1 Mississippi, right back up. 1 Tennessee, right back up. However you choose to count 1 second, it's a 1-second sustained hold at the bottom, and you're pivoting right back up. 30 repetitive tractions in the morning, and in the evening, right before you go to bed. This is the equivalent of flossing your spine. Great.
Another one here. Little one. Go on your side for me. Go other side. So, big never-ending story person. You watching the Dragon Show?
No.
Oh wow, you're kind of lame then.
House of Dragon?
House of
Yeah,
Dragon.
heck yeah, watching that.
Relax your head. There we go. We got most of that when you were face down. All right, what else can we?
Sorry. 3, 2, 1.
Am I supposed to clap?
Woo!
Woo! Woo! Am I supposed to start?
It was colic, acid reflux.
No.
Okay.
So weather.
For mini childhood, okay.
Sorry.
All right, now for wow. Okay.
And for toddlers and infants, childhood functions as, again, joint inflammation. Okay.
Cool. Let's do that again, huh?
Deadgummit. The repeaterator? Okay.
Did I say that the right way?
Let's just put shelves. Yeah, get the blood. Yeah.
A child or an adult, whether you're a newborn, a child, or an adult, chiropractic care can help keep your body functioning at its best.
Chiropractic care can help keep you at your best. I know! My tongue got tied!
Chiropractic care can help keep your body functioning, help keep your body, help keep your body, help keep your body, help keep your body, help keep your body.
Oh, I was thinking it's a Lance. Hello.
Okay.
So, whether you are a newborn, child, newborn, child, adult, okay.
That was good.
Okay.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Lifts and drops and lifts and drops. What is that thing?
Chiropractic drop table.
Off.
Get your hibbity bajibbities out. Jeepers creepers.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Okay, 3,
It's a little
2,
bit more
1.
emphatic.
Okay, Ron, we're on.
All right, ready?
Drop it.
Like it's hot. We live?
Pop it. Drop it.
Twist it. Bop it.
Test, 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 test. Word to your mind.
Yo, yo, yo. Yeah. Ouch! The circle of her arc of life.
It's the arc of life. Oh. I don't know the rest of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Simba. No, Sabenyo, Sabi, Shamane. Clap! Getting effective sleep is extremely important and crucial to your health. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. It does vary based on your age, but general rule of thumb is 7 to 8 hours. Avoid using devices as you're laying in bed, like your iPhone, tablet, Android. They emit blue light. Blue light, when it's pushed in through the eyes, actually affects and suppresses melatonin production by the brain, therefore affecting your circadian sleep rhythm. One of the hacks that I use is actually blue light filtering glasses like these. If I am going to be using my device at night, checking emails, texting, whatever, at least I'm protecting that part of my brain from the blue light effect, allowing me to wind down and get to sleep faster. Like and follow us for more tips and tricks like this so that we can help you make the rest of your years the best of your years. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Dr. David Hausman,
I'm Dr. Zach Farmer.
and we're board certified chiropractors here in Nashville, Tennessee. And in this video, we're going to be walking you guys through chiropractic care and how does it relate back to our favorite thing on earth, the nervous system.
The nervous
Oh, you
system.
would point to your heart. We'll also talk about the heart.
So, my favorite analogy is the body is a big computer. The brain is our main CPU, and all of these yellow things, the nervous system, is the wire. So if we're not getting a full signal to our hardware, then we're not gonna get full function from our hardware. So, the heart. Everyone has one. A lot of our patients come in here and they don't even tell us until we ask, but they're having blood pressure issues. They can't control it. They've been to their medical doctor. They've given them multiple types of blood pressure medication. No change over years and years. What we do is we check out your spine, we take x-rays, we do our motion palpation, all of our exams, and a very common finding is the nerves that go to your heart, down in your lower or your upper back and the base of your skull, have compression. And if they're not getting that full function, if they're being pushed on, what's gonna happen? The wrong signal is gonna come in. So your blood pressure is gonna be too high, your heart's gonna beat way too rapidly or way too slowly, and that's something we can help with.
Interesting. So if we boil it down, we make it like really, really easy for that same analogy, the heart. Our brain sends signal through that wire to our heart, tells our heart how to thump, beat in our chest, right? Hopefully your heartbeat doesn't sound like that because you're like jacked up. But anyway, if we use for that example, this is my heart, my fist. Your arm is the nerve that's going to your heart. So if I come along and I chop that nerve in half, severe example, what happens to my heart?
Falls off.
Stops beating and probably like, no, I cried, right? So that'll be a severe example. Now less severe, if I come along to that nerve that's telling my heart how to beat my chest and I put a little bit of pressure on it and I squeeze that nerve, does my heart get healthier or sicker?
Sicker, and your hand would eventually become numb.
Right. So it's going to affect the organ that is being controlled by that nerve. So just as an example, the same type of thing. So if my brain's telling my heart how to beat and it tells it through that nerve how to beat, I come along and in the upper part of my back, I have all this forward rolling of the shoulders and it shifts the bones in my upper back and then that starts putting pressure on those nerves. It's the same type of analogy. It's not uncommon that we see individuals that are coming in with elevated blood pressure. So boiled down concept on this is the organ that's being controlled can either increase hyper or it can decrease hypo in function. So hyperfunction, hypofunction. And so if we use that same concept, that same principle with the nerves that are coming out of the neck, very, very common area where there's literally like 8 out of 10 people that are dealing with degeneration in the middle part of their neck. On the nerves that come out and go right to the thyroid, what does that do? Hyperfunction.
Hyperfunction, yeah. Hyperthyroidism speeds up your metabolism, makes you feel hot and sweaty all the time, makes your eyes a little pokier.
Stay up super late at night, insomniac, you don't get to sleep, screws up your circadian rhythm.
Fatigued all the time.
Hormones, one hormone kind of goes out of whack, it throws all the other hormones out of whack. It's like a symphony, one instrument kind of ruins the sound of all of the instruments. So then you could also have the other thing take place, which is hypofunction. That's probably the more common one.
Yes.
So hypothyroidism.
Yeah, so slow metabolism, you gain weight and doesn't matter how much you work out. You're like, I'm checking my diet, but I'm still gaining weight. That's because your thyroid is slowing down your metabolism. You're holding on to all that fat, feeling fatigued, groggy, cold.
It's gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
And you're probably watching this if this is the first time you've ever heard of like the principle of chiropractic care. You've never been to a chiropractor before. You're like, what the heck is these doctors talking about? What are these doctors talking about, right? That sounds foreign and crazy to you. It's probably because it's the first time you've heard this. And so if that is you, my encouragement to you is find a board certified chiropractor that is near you that takes care of the nervous system, which should be most chiropractors, but does it in a diligent and respectful manner, where they're gonna take x-rays and actually look at the bones, because the bones are what surround and protect each of these delicate little nerves that come out of our spine. And if those bones are in the right alignment, the right position, the right curve angles in your spine, your nervous system's happy, it's healthy. If they're not, they're misaligned, chronically misaligned because of muscle tension and poor posture and all the other things that we do as humans, then chiropractor hopefully can walk you through the right process to start correcting your posture and removing some of that damage from the nervous system. So if you're in Nashville, Tennessee, that's definitely us. So you should come see us.
Come see us.
But even if you don't live in Nashville, what we do, we would really like, please just give us a link. Subscribe to our channel. We're going to give you guys more information, more content like this. We really do appreciate it. So hopefully we'll see you on the flip side, another video where we're talking more about the nervous system and chiropractic care.
In this video, we're going to be talking about neck exercise. So if this is prescribed to you, you'll see it listed as the CD exercise, CD. And so this is an exercise that we prescribe because in the front of the spine, when you're looking at your body from the front view, your spine's supposed to be nice and straight. And over time, we develop these tendencies to have maybe one shoulder that sits a little bit higher or a head translation to the side. And you might notice this if you're starting to look at people's posture now, or if you're thinking about your own spine. So you look at those old family pictures and you see your head kind of cockaminis to the side, or it's got a right head translation, it means there's an angle in the middle part of your neck where the bones aren't sitting straight. So what we want to do is an exercise that's going to help to support and offset that. So if you've been prescribed this exercise, this is what we're trying to address, is get rid of that curve in the middle part of your neck and actually bring it back to you straight the way that it's supposed to be. Isometric exercises are one of the most effective ways of being able to do this. So an isometric exercise like this is just creating a resistance point and using your own body's muscles to pull the bone back. Cool? So demonstrate this exercise. You would actually take your hand and make the big loser sign. And you're gonna take the web of your hand where your thumb and your index finger are gonna cup your ear. So we're cupping the ear, and then we're gonna take our elbow, bring it up to the side so that our forearm is making a 90-degree bend. And then you're gonna be applying pressure along the length of your forearms. So you're gonna be pushing directly into the side of your head. And when we're doing this exercise, we wanna be in a nice upright position. I don't want my head bent to the side, and I don't want my head twisted or turned. I want my nose nice and centered. So I'm creating resistance. We're gonna be pushing into our head with our hand. And at the same time, what you're gonna be doing is using your head to push the opposite direction into your hand. And when isometric exercises are done properly, you should shake a little bit, and you should be feeling this along the side part of the neck. So you're just gonna count to 5 seconds and hold that resistance. So you're pushing into your head, and with your head, you're pushing into your hand, and you're actually just gonna hold it for a 5-second muscle contraction. And then you're gonna relax. And then you're gonna do it again, 5-second muscle contraction, relax. And most of us will end up doing about 10, 15, maybe 20, 25 of these, just once a day, 5-second muscle hold for those, or you might end up getting it prescribed twice a day. But this is an amazing, super easy, you can do it anywhere type of exercise that will help to offset that curve in the middle part of your neck.
Chicken wing. Step 1, grab your wrist. If you're doing this on the left side, you're gonna grab your right wrist. Step 2, make a chicken wing. Step 3, bend your ear towards your shoulder on the same side of the chicken wing. Make sure that when you do this, you're bending your head straight to the side with no rotation in your head. Hold for 5 seconds. Couple tips on this. The stronger you pull on your wrist and the more chicken wing you make, the more you're gonna feel the stretch when you bend your head towards the side. Relax. Eventually, you want to work your way up to a 45-second muscle hold on your prescribed side. Now, a couple variants on this. When you're bending your head towards the side, slightly turn your chin upward with just a little bit of rotation. And as you do that, you're going to feel the stretch move towards the front of that muscle group. The next variant on this is to rotate the opposite way, slightly turning your head into the elbow side, and then you're gonna feel this move to the back part of the muscle group, and again, hold this for 45 seconds. But that slight head rotation while you're doing this, as long as it's controlled, will let you really feel the wide stretch.
Hey everyone, it's the docs at Stronghold Health here with you today. We're gonna go over one of the biggest misconceptions with chiropractic care, in that it's only for adults. Chiropractic care is gonna be great for infants all the way to seniors, and let's go over some of the reasons why.
For newborns and infants, chiropractic care is phenomenal. It helps with colic, it helps with digestive imbalance, constipation, it even helps with latching difficulty issues with breastfeeding for the little ones. It requires just a little bit of pressure. The adjustments are super gentle. It's the same amount of pressure that you'd use to test the ripeness of a tomato. So chiropractic care is phenomenal for infants and for newborns.
And for toddlers and young children, chiropractic care is very helpful for such childhood conditions as ear infections, asthma, and allergies. Again, it's all about improving the body's ability to function properly so that the body can better manage all of these conditions on its own.
So now for school-age children all the way through teenagers, chiropractic care can help with a number of things: scoliosis prevention, posture, sports performance, as well as mental and physical performance overall.
And of course, for us adults, everybody knows that chiropractic care is beneficial for neck pain and for low back pain, common gateway problems like that. But the reality is, chiropractic care helps to improve nerve system function. And at the end of the day, your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves impact every other organ, every other system in your body. So it's all about promoting overall health and wellness.
And finally, seniors as well can benefit from chiropractic care. Many seniors deal with osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, other degenerative diseases, and with gentle adjustments, we can help provide improved quality of life, increased range of motion, and help decrease inflammation.
Whether you're a newborn,
A child,
Adults,
all ages.
Chiropractic care can help
Keep your body functioning
at its best.
at its best.
at its best.
If you're in the Nashville area, definitely check out our clinic. All three of us docs are board certified chiropractors in the state of Tennessee. But if you're outside of the area, comment on the YouTube video. We can help you find a chiropractor that's near you, a really good trusted chiropractic source, or just Google chiropractor near you, reach out and schedule an appointment.
Hey guys, this is Dr. David Hausman with Stronghold Health, and today we're going to be going through the top 4 cues, things you need to do for a really healthy computer work setup. So ergonomics, top 4 ergonomics for computer work setup. Number 1, you're going to want to make sure that the way that you're sitting, and this might be difficult for a lot of people because we don't have traditional computer monitors for a lot of us anymore. We're using laptops or iPads. However, you want the monitor and the thing that you're constantly looking at, especially if you're working for like 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours a day, to be at a position when you're seated and your sitting is all been adjusted properly, where your computer monitor is about 20 degrees above eye level. So if you're looking from the side and I'm in this sitting position, if I'm looking down all the time at my monitor, I'm flattening the curve in my neck, and it's not helping because gravity is just going to make that even worse. So eye level directly in front of me, I'm going to want for my computer monitor to be 20 degrees up. So naturally just having to look up slightly in order to see what I'm working on, Microsoft Word, Excel, whatever, you want it to be 20 degrees above eye level. That is number 1. You got to take care of that neck curve, make sure it's in a nice and healthy position. Number 2, you want to make sure that we started in the neck, so we'll go all the way down to the low back. Number 2, you want to make sure that your chair is at the right height. Okay, so how do we put our chair at the right height? Well, this will be hard to demo standing, but basically, if you imagine my elbow being my hip right here and my knee, or I can show you like this. From a side view, when your chair is at the right height, your knee should not be 90 degrees right here. You want your knee to be facing about 15 to 20 degrees below the height of your hip. So a natural height for the chair might be right about there. So the chair needs to be in a little bit higher position, so there's a slight anterior or forward pelvic tilt, helping with that curve structure in my low back. So hopefully that makes sense. Chair position needs to be in a height so that when my feet are resting on the ground, my knee is 20 degrees lower than my hip. The third thing, cue-wise, you need for healthy ergonomics is then, now that my chair is in the right position, my monitor is at the right height, I don't want my keyboard to be down here or my mouse to be up here because I don't want to be promoting carpal tunnel issues and nerve entrapment problems in my elbow or wrist. So I want my elbow to be at kind of a natural, just 90-degree bend, a right angle. Nice relaxed position for where the mouse and keyboard is going to sit. So if you're using an iPad or you're using a laptop and you do a lot of computer work, I would recommend just spend the money, buy like a $100 monitor, $15 mount, and mount it on your wall with a little HDMI cord that plugs into your laptop. Extend your monitor so you can still work on your laptop but still have that upward angle. Number 4, ergonomics for your workstation is very simply not actually an ergonomic per se, it's more of a fourth being a rule. And so the rule is you want to take care of your body and give your body some breaks. And so I like to do the 2-minute rule. Every 1 hour that you're sitting, you have to get up, honestly, and just like give your body a break, walk around for 2 minutes, move your body, get some fluid motion in your joints before you proceed to do that next hour of work. It's really easy sometimes to just kind of sit stagnant for a long period of time. Every hour sitting, statistically somewhere I saw this, is the equivalent of smoking 1 cigarette and shortening your lifespan. Another way of being able to relieve some pressure off of your low back is stop sitting, get a standing workstation, get a little walking treadmill that you can walk while you work. There's a lot of creative things that you can do, but also for a lot of jobs in a cubicle or in a workstation, those aren't permitted. So stick to the first 3 that I had told you, and that 4th one being take 2-minute breaks. This is Dr. Dave with Stronghold Health. I hope this helps. Please like and share this video so that we can help you guys make the rest of your years the best of your years.
I'm trying to teach other people to do it today. You did? All the way up. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Zach.
And I'm Dr. Max.
We're both board certified chiropractors here in Nashville, Tennessee, and today we're going to talk about the spine, more specifically the nervous system. So as chiropractors, people often think that we just crack bones, and that's actually not at all our main focus. We're actually going to focus on this lower area today, the nerves that go to the stomach, the whole GI, the gastrointestinal system involved in digestion, all the way from here to there. We have a lot of patients that come in here with heartburn, with constipation, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So I'm going to go ahead and take the stomach. So stomach's very important with the hydrochloric acid that helps break down a lot of your food that comes in. We have probably 1 out of 5 patients with heartburn. And that's just an overproduction of hydrochloric acid that's going up into your sphincter, going up into your esophagus. So that's where we focus on this area that controls the stomach acid. And 9 times out of 10, we see those heartburns go away, and we see people start to digest their food. They can eat more types of food, spicy food. I love Thai food. Spicy, yeah. What else?
So after the stomach, once we've cleared that up, everything goes into the GI system, right? So we see a lot of people that come in, and we can even see it on your x-rays if you are having constipation issues moving your food through your bowel tracts. So what happens here is down in this low back region, sometimes if we have lateral curvatures or super tight muscles that are compressing that nerve, it can affect your body's ability to move food and waste through your GI tract. Reason being is there's a process called peristalsis, which is literally the muscles called haustra moving food through the intestines. If the nerve is compressed, obviously the intestines can't work quite as well. Therefore, constipation, diarrhea, fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very fun.
Very fun.
We've all been there. Yeah, stress is also a very common thing that can cause that constipation, diarrhea, and stress is through our nerves. So that's why sometimes we'll have small little rabbit poops or small little round poops, just due to the peristalsis going too intensely. That's a high activation of our sympathetic nervous system, which is all caused by compression and different hormones in our spine that can all be helped with chiropractic.
And so how that works is when we have compression on these nerves, we need to relieve that, right? So as chiropractors, we adjust. So by moving bones, we can help take pressure off these nerves here. And after we do that, food starts going past the stomach down into what, Dr. Zach?
Down into our small intestine, long intestine, and then our sigmoid colon, and then out.
It's gone. But many times we see people come in and either they'll tell us they're having problems with constipation, or we can see it on your x-rays, actually. So many times when that is the case, we have pressure on the nerves down here in your low back, actually. So once again, through adjustments, through decompression, we can take pressure off of these nerves so that the gastrointestinal tract can start doing its job. So by a process called peristalsis, it moves all the waste through and out. Just like that.
Yeah. And as chiropractors, we're also certified in nutrition. So nutrition is also another side of constipation and just general digestion issues. So if you guys ever have any questions about any types of nutrition, feel free to ask us. You can drop a comment in under our video. And
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. And drink plenty of water. No one drinks enough water. Water is important.
It is.
Yeah, water is life. Snoop.
So, drop table technique. Alexa, stop. Drop table is a quick demonstration I wanted to walk you through here. So with the drop table, it's a component on the table that lifts that part of the table up, and then we're able to drop it back down underneath of the patient. So if you look here, the orange thing is your tailbone on the spinal model. That's one of the hip bones. This is called the SI joint, sacroiliac joint. It requires a lot of force to adjust that guy. 20 newtons of force, 10 times the amount of force it would require to adjust any of these other joints in the spine. So often we'll use the drop piece primarily for low back, lumbo-pelvic area in the SI joint. So a lot of tailbone adjusting, a lot of hip adjusting. We also are going to use it for someone that's got a disc injury right down here on one of these guys because a rotation or a twisting on that joint isn't going to help it, but backward to forward motion will. So if I were to try and adjust this by hand, as a chiropractor, I'm placing force through that joint. I want to adjust it backward to forward type of maneuver. I'm going to have to apply a lot of force in there without the drop table. Benefit of the drop table, this is a pneumatic airlift, is it's going to allow me to still deliver the impulsive force of the adjustment in that joint, but without injuring my wrist and putting all of that force and energy through my wrist. It's going to allow me to increase the speed of the adjustment as we drop down. Drop table, drop 101, Alexa resume. That's why at Stronghold Health, we like to drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Snoop.
Step 1, L, side part of your head.
Woke up with an L on my forehead, right?
Step 2, forearm pressing into your head. Step 3, head presses into your hand. Opposite direction of your forearm. Opposing actions, hold the muscle contraction for 5 seconds. Relax.
Sorry.
If you're extra special, you'll get this prescribed on both sides.
Woke up with an L on my forehead, right?
Step 1, L, side part of your head. Step 2, forearm pressing into your head. Step 3, head presses into your hand. Opposite direction of your forearm, opposing actions, hold the muscle contraction for 5 seconds.
Sorry.
If you're extra special, you'll get this prescribed on both sides. Step 1, you're going to go ahead and take your fingers and make them nice and flat. You're going to press it against the side part of your head. So most of the force through the top half of your palm is going to press into the zygomatic arch here on the side part of your head. Elbow comes straight up to the side. I'm not turned. I'm not bent. Up to the side, pressing into my head. Same time I'm pressing the head into my hand. 5-second hold and relax. Relax. So for this exercise, Roxbury exercise, your toes are up against the baseboard. Hands are behind your back after you've already placed the foam roll. And from a side profile, you'll see the foam roll is gonna go right on the ridge of your forehead. Face stays parallel to the wall. While that's happening, you're gonna press in with your forehead into the foam piece, hold for 5 seconds, and then relax. This is gonna work your neck muscles and get rid of that forward head posture.
My wife and I, we just had newborn baby, little Axton. He's just absolutely incredible. I mean, here it is, this bundle of joy, this amazing kid who never needed any help from the outside, formed in the womb, 1 cell, now 78 trillion cells, and out comes this like beautiful baby boy. The very first thing I did was actually check his spine, because I knew it was the most important source of vibrance in life. I'm Dr. David Hausman, and I founded Stronghold Health in 2014. And the reason why I founded this clinic with the name is it has sentimental value and meaning to me. This clinic, my mother left me after she passed away from cancer just enough money, in fact, almost the exact dollar amount based on a business plan that I had done in chiropractic school to open this clinic. Stronghold, every time I drive into work in the morning, into this clinic, I don't really view it as being work, I view it as being like life mission. And a fulfillment for me where I get to carry out a legacy that my mom left me with.
So tell me if it tastes like greens.
It does not.
Pretty cool, right?
It's actually
one of the best things about these is
kind of tastes a little like you. Are you a you?
Oh, I was like, it tastes like me. What?
Dude, what a pickup line. Like, look at this tall drink of Yoo-hoo.
It tastes like you. So
actually
the
pretty
cool thing
good.
about these is when you do order them, we have subscribe and save online, right? And you can get them auto shipped at a discount, but you can store them literally anywhere. You don't have to have them in a fridge.
Chocolate, espresso, berry, all of your greens, everything you need, shipped directly from them. You can subscribe and save, get your greens.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. David Hausman.
I'm Dr. Zach Farmer.
We're chiropractors in Nashville, Tennessee, and in this video we're going to be telling you a little bit about headaches and chiropractic care. Why is chiropractic care beneficial to help treat headache symptoms? Where do headaches come from, neurologically speaking, and some of our experience in working with literally thousands of patients on the subject and what we've discovered. So, Dr. Zach, I guess I can let you kind of kick it off. Anatomy-wise, what region of the spine is usually responsible for headaches?
So right here. And honestly, the majority of our patients come in here with neck pain or back pain. And they don't even say that they have headaches until we ask them in our history.
It's usually a secondary thing. They're like neck pain driving them in, and they're just so used to dealing with headaches on a day in, day out basis. It's like become the norm.
Yeah.
So they don't even mention it.
And hey, are headaches normal?
No! Are they common?
Yes, very
Is
common.
getting mugged in Central Park, New York normal?
No.
Is it common? Maybe.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Not here in Nashville.
Maybe a bad analogy, but I think you get the drift.
Right. So headaches, the majority of the time, come from the neck or dehydration, sometimes with hangovers. But I'd say 90% of the headaches, at least the ones that we see, are all from the neck. So ideally, all of our necks would have a great curve, allowing wonderful flow of our nerve function and our blood flow. However, when we start to lose our curve in our neck due to working from home, looking at a computer, looking at our phones all
Over the
day,
shoulders, it's the tech neck phenomenon.
start to lose that curve, put more pressure on all the blood flow and the nerves. So once we reduce the curve, this top bone, the atlas, that should be pointed down, starts to point up, putting more pressure and having less space right here for this artery and the nerves that are not shown here to come out, causing a pain at the base of your head, right in the back, that travels all the way up to the front of your head, causing that headache. Occasionally, it's right behind the eye. Most commonly, it's like a headband type headache. We call it a tension headache or a cervicogenic headache, or a
LeBron headache.
LeBron headache.
Yeah, there you
Ooh,
go.
I like that. Coined here at Stronghold Health.
Similar neck model here. I'll do it this way, so we're facing the opposite direction. Chiropractors, we adjust and work with bones, but we don't really care about the bones, right? We
Not as
care
much, more of
we
the-
care more about what's inside the bones. So what are the bones protecting, right? So in terms of neurology, it's all about the neurology. It's all about the power, the life that's in the brain, your brain, that flows from your brain down the spinal cord. And in this case, the spinal cord is this big, thick yellow thing. It's encased and protected by all of these bones. So the force, the life, the energy, the electrical conductivity, whatever you want to call it, that flows through your nervous system, you want to think about your nervous system as being like wires. Those wires are conducting life through the spinal cord and then out the nerves that come out here. So the protection, it's there as long as you're alive for the most part and you don't like cut your head off, like your spine's going to be protected. But the very thing that protects it is actually sometimes what causes pressure. And it's not like a crazy amount of pressure, it's just like a little bit, but it's enough that it interferes with the flow of that energy, the flow of that life force, the flow of the neurotransmitters. So anyway, that bone in the top part of the neck, it's called your atlas bone. Atlas is 90% of our head turn, right? So that one little bone at the top part of the neck is shaped like a signet ring. Like if we're to take it off and actually look at the bone, maybe we'll put a picture of it right here. Yep, there we go. So that signet ring, what flows through it is the spinal cord. 78 million nerves that cluster right through that top bone in the neck. And when we go living life all day long, like you're talking about tech neck, hunching forward, looking down, it's repetitive muscle activity. And the more we do that day in, day out, year after year, enough without actually doing any sort of chiropractic preventative care or chiropractic work or stretches or like muscle work to take care of that top part of the neck, we end up in a resting position. We can look left and look right and use it, but in a resting position, it gets stuck kind of in just a little bit off. So it might be stuck a little twisted or rotated. Mm-hmm. It might be stuck, shoved to the side, right? And when that occurs, there's nerves in the top part of the neck. So what nerves are up here? Typically headache nerves.
The suboccipital nerve. So
Ooh,
suboccipital. Occipital just means the base of the head.
it's this big bone.
This big bone right here, and sub, under, like a submarine. Ooh. So the suboccipital nerves that come out right at the base of the head, come out right from the brainstem, come out right to the back of the head, and travel all the way to the front. So you feel that headache kind of coming on, a little tension back here. Eventually it starts
it's a
to
pinch on the nerve, so to speak, right in the back before it's traveling up and around the head.
Right.
So if I pinch that nerve at the base, then it causes referred pain that wraps up and around your head. Very, very common type of headache. It's a suboccipital headache.
Yeah.
Another term you might see thrown around in the medical arena is suboccipital neuralgia.
Right.
Suboccipital neuralgia is specifically right in the top part of the neck up here where the space between that atlas bone and the occipital bone starts compressing.
Right.
It gets smushed. Big, big cause of headaches. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that that's probably the first place you need to look is with x-rays at a chiropractic clinic and see if that's one of the underlying causes you have for headaches.
Or what about Tylenol? Would Tylenol just get rid of that headache?
I don't know. I don't think that a lack of Tylenol gave me the headache. It would probably help to minimize the symptom of the headache, but I don't know if it would help to chip away at the cause of the headache. Because Tylenol is, to a certain extent, going to thin my blood a little bit.
In your blood, mess with the liver.
Yep, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. It'll help to treat and minimize the symptoms, the soreness and the pain and the referred pain pattern. But then once that Tylenol wears off, if the cause is still there, how long might I have the headache?
It's going to come right back.
Definitely,
Until
right?
that next Tylenol.
So Atlas, super cool. Why is it called Atlas?
Atlas. So in Greek mythology?
It is Greek.
Greek mythology.
Yes, sir.
There is a hero.
It's like super ripped too in some of the mythology.
Right, yeah, the most jacked guy. Similar to The Rock. And
He's the rock god.
his, I believe was it a curse that he had to?
Yeah, he had to like carry the globe on his shoulders.
He had to hold the world
So,
up.
in way back, whoever named it in anatomy and physiology, they named it the Atlas bone because it holds your world up. It holds your head up. And your head's very much like a globe. So Atlas would literally carry the world on his shoulders. Really, really cool. So one of the first places, your take home from this entire video, one of the first places to look when you're having headaches, especially if you haven't, is top part of the neck, chiropractic visit, get it evaluated and see if there's something that's awry up there. See if there's something misaligned in the top region of the spine that could be causing you to have headaches. We only talked about like one specific occipital neuralgia. There's, I think, over like, what, 13 different types of headaches?
Right.
And pretty much all of them are neurological, except for a slight few that would be like chemical imbalances. But most of us walking around with headaches that are suffering from them are a mechanical issue, something structural that's taking place affecting neurology, causing you to have that headache. So check it out. If you haven't, get x-rays taken on your neck, go to a chiropractor that's really competent with dealing with that part of the spine, and get it evaluated and see if you can start moving it in the right direction. The last thing that we'll leave you with that, when you go to a chiropractor, what treatment protocol is realistic treatment protocol for that? Like, are we talking one adjustment and your headache goes away? Could be. We've seen it happen very, very often. One adjustment, the headache instantaneously gone, or depending on the severity of the case, how long that bone's been misaligned and how much muscle memory we're working against for it. Could be a series of adjustments, but the take home for you is that we're not going to be prescribing you a medication for it. Right. We want to take care of it naturally. We want to get your body lined back up so we can take pressure off of the nervous system and let your body heal the way that it was designed to. So, headache or no headache, we'd love to see you here at Stronghold Health, and that's actually where our clinic is, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So if you found this video helpful, please help us out. Subscribe to our channel, smash the like button, share this with a friend. We totally appreciate your support, and that helps us with the algorithm.
And then here's same story. Deep breath all the way in, let it all the way out. Just pick your head up, look up. There it is. Scoot down just a little bit lower towards your feet.
I apologize, my noises turned sexual.
It's quite all right. First chiropractic visit, chiropractor showed me right there in the upper part of my back there was this curve bending to the side, and it was the first time I ever had a doctor tell me with boldness and confidence, this right here is what's causing your asthma. And it was a huge eye-opening experience for me because at that point in time, I started losing my hair. I was born with curly, thick locks of hair, and my hair started falling out because my body was so toxic from the medications that I was taking. And so every morning I wake up and I look in the mirror, seeing me not having hair, not having eyebrows, eyelashes. It's called alopecia. I have no hair on my body. And then darker rings around my eyes. It's a continual reminder of what I overcame. 3 months after seeing that doctor, following through with the recommendations, making my visits for adjustments and starting to actually take care of my spine, my body healed from the inside out. And I threw away my asthma inhalers, I threw away my medications, I stopped doing the allergy injections, and literally haven't looked back since that point in time. That's why I founded Stronghold Health, so that I would have the ability, through the practice of chiropractic care, of influencing every single person that I can possibly. And for me, that's really what it's all about, is making that difference in people's lives so that they can live the quality of life that they were called and truly designed to live.
Hey there, this is Dr. Dave with Stronghold Health, and today we're going to be discussing what are the top 3 things that you need to look for when you're trying to select a chiropractor. If you are in the market and you've been looking for a chiropractor, you've probably seen doctors that take x-rays, don't take x-rays, adjust by hand, don't adjust by hand, all kinds of things. So with my 15 years of clinical experience, these are the top 3 things that I would recommend for what you should look for in a good chiropractor. Number one, what you want is you want a chiropractor that's going to do a thorough evaluation that will consist of looking at nerves, muscles, joints, and range of motion. You want a doctor that's going to be capable and competent to be able to help you evaluate all of those systems. And with that, the number one way to evaluate the nerve system isn't just going to be like looking in your eyes and doing like an eye exam or things along those lines. It's actually going to be looking inside. It's going to be looking inside by the use of digital x-rays, or even better than digital x-rays, digital motion x-rays, which is like a video x-ray. That's cutting edge, that's next level. We're not there yet at our clinic, but we do full spine digital x-rays. The reason why you want digital x-rays is because our nervous system, the nerves, the spinal cord, are protected by bones. It's the only system in our body that's encased in bones. So you have to look at the structure and the alignment of those bones to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to, which is protect that delicate little nervous system. The number two thing that you're looking for a chiropractor is you're looking for a chiropractor that is going to give a whole body wellness approach. Instead of just looking at one little tiny area, for instance, you're coming in with neck pain. With your neck, if it is a structural issue in the spine and your neck, we also have to take into consideration how that translates all the way down through the rest of your body. Because there's other components that could be affecting that problem in your neck. And so if I were to only adjust and only work with that problem in your neck, I might miss a pelvic and hip issue that's throwing your neck off in the first place. So we want to look at the body as an entire frame. The number three thing that I think you should ideally look for in a chiropractor is you should look for a chiropractor that's going to do manual hands-on adjusting, or a combination of manual hands-on adjustments, but also instrument adjusting. If you're going to a chiropractor, in my humble opinion, and the clinical years of experience, that chiropractor is only doing just like a little instrument that they're using to adjust you, it's not enough to move the spinal joints and to affect appropriate change, structurally speaking. So those are the three things that you're looking for, ideally, to find a really, really cool, or could I even say like badass chiropractor. Number one, you want a doc that's gonna be able to look at your body, nerve, muscle, joint, range of motion testing, but culminate all of that with digital x-rays. So they can look at the structure, they can take measurements, they can do the right analysis on your spine and know exactly what spinal joints to adjust and which ones to not adjust. Number two, you want a doc that's gonna look at your body as an overall entire frame. So we're gonna consider all the different parts of the body and how they interconnect together cohesively, synergistically. And with that, you'll also have docs that will do like functional medicine and look at other areas of the body that communicate with the nervous system. And then number three, you're gonna want a doc that ideally does manual hands-on adjusting, or a combination of manual hands-on and instrument adjusting. So with that, these are the three top things that you're looking for an ideal chiropractor. Dr. Dave, signing off.
This is door frame flossing. First step, place your palm on the inside of a door frame so that it's above your shoulder height, also above your head. Step two is stagger your stance into somewhat of a lunge, with the opposite foot being a little bit further forward. Step number three is stand upright. Next thing you're gonna do is rotate your torso away from that hand. Next thing you're gonna do is pull the fingers up off the wall, splay your fingers. And then the last thing you're gonna do, if you can, is you're gonna arc your hand back and put all that weight on your wrist. And then if you really want to exaggerate this, you can have someone else pull your fingers or thumb back and up lightly in a flossing motion. Or alternatively, if you don't have somebody else to help you with this, you can squat slightly and rotate your torso even more, and you'll feel that floss. This is a great thing to do if you've got numbness and tingling going into your arms and you really just need to take some pressure off of the bundle of nerves going down your arm.
Hey guys, Dr. Zach here. We're going to talk about hydration today. Did you know that drinking enough water is crucial for maintaining proper health? The goal is about 8 cups a day. Drink more if you live in a very warm environment or you're very active. Another great rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, then you want to drink 100 ounces of water every day. Pretty simple, right? Proper hydration can help prevent such conditions as muscle pain, joint pain, even reduce headaches. Yeah. Follow us for more tips, tricks, life hacks, hashtag chiropractic, hashtag healthy lifestyle, hashtag hydration. Nice. Awesome. Drop it to the side. Beautiful. Nice. Good job.
Oh, yes, that was beautiful. Oh.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Relax that. Good.
There it is.
Looking halfway over here. Open. Right. Good. Nice.
Yep.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. There we go.
Nice.
Awesome. Good. All the way up. Awesome. Back. 1, 2. Good.
When I was younger, I struggled personally with my health. I had a difficult time breathing. I had really, really bad asthma. I had severe allergies where I would swell up all over the body, eyes would puff up, and I would get these allergic reactions. And when they tested me, I was allergic to literally everything under the sun. I was on 2 allergy medications, 2 different asthma inhalers, nasal spray, and I continued with that from when I was roughly 3 years old all the way up until 17. There wasn't ever a doctor that was helpful to show me what the cause was. It was always another asthma inhaler, another medication, allergy shots that I started doing for upwards of 4 years. And then finally, when I was 17, I got x-rays taken on my spine. First chiropractic visit, chiropractor showed me right there in the upper part of my back, there was this curve bending to the side. And it was the first time I ever had a doctor tell me with boldness and confidence, this right here is what's causing your asthma.
Not freedom! That was great. I felt
Dude,
released
that,
all the way
oh
down to
my,
about
I felt it,
T12.
I felt it
Oh,
like
all the
literally
way down to the
all the
tailbone.
way down to the tailbone.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Dr. David Hausman.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Zach, and I'm a board certified chiropractor of Tennessee.
And I am too. So with us being board certified chiropractors in Tennessee, we actually in our training get a lot of information, a lot of schooling, and a lot of study time with vitamins. with biochemistry of the human body and anatomy and physiology and so many other things. And with that, today we wanted to talk to you a little bit about vitamin D3. Vitamin D3. Well, yeah, and a special form of vitamin D3, micellized vitamin D3. What is it? Why is it so important? And why is it better than just regular vitamin D or even regular forms of vitamin D3? So I guess we can dive right in. What does micellized mean?
Micellized means there is
little mouses?
Yeah, little mouse. Actually, no. So actually, that means that it is surrounded by lipids, which are fat compounds. And you may have taken vitamins in your past and notice this says, please take with meal. Why is that? It's because some vitamins are water soluble, which means all you have to do to absorb it is drink water. The fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin D and 3 others, A, K, and E, mean that you have to take a meal for the body to properly absorb that vitamin.
Right. However, so the vitamin itself, you can take it, and if your body doesn't process that vitamin effectively, you really don't absorb a lot of it. A lot of the vitamin D that's on the market right now, vitamin D3, isn't prepared the right way. So you might be taking, for instance, 10,000 IUs prescribed by your doctor of vitamin D3, but it might be an oil form of that D3 and it isn't already micellized, so your body will absorb maybe out of that 10,000 IUs, 500 IUs. And so the potency and bioavailability comes into question depending on the form of D3 that you're actually consuming. So really the biggest thing to start thinking about is the form of vitamin D3. We should probably back up a second though and explain what is D3 and why is it so important in the body.
So vitamin D in general is one of the primary vitamins for transporting things around the body into where it needs to be, such as absorbing calcium in the body. People that have osteoporosis typically have a vitamin D deficiency because their body cannot absorb the proper amount of calcium and their bones start to get brittle because your body absorbs calcium from the bones using for other things that it needs. It's also a very important, it's almost like a hormone, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less, like we call it a vitamin, right? But the reality is when our body absorbs vitamin D3, it almost acts like a hormone because there's so many different cells in the human body, heart cells, some skin cells, smooth muscle cells that all have receptors on the cell for vitamin D3. And so vitamin D3 acts as an activator, if you will, where it allows those different cells in the body to be able to perform functions that they need to. So it's almost like a gatekeeper. And hormones are very much like that, in that the hormone itself can create or impede a whole other slew of processes in the body. And so vitamin D3 is very similar because it acts in that same type of style. How do we get D3? That's always a common question too that patients ask.
So vitamin D3, since it's already pre-soluble, you don't have to do anything special to absorb it. It can go right under the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So how we would take it. But vitamin D3. So Dr. Zach's essentially saying that the type of vitamin D3 that we take can be in like a capsule form as a supplement, or you could take it in a lipid form. And often if you take it in a lipid form, it's more readily available and it gets into the bloodstream faster because when we squirt it under our tongue, we have those sublingual arteries that are right under your tongue. So if you squirt it under your tongue as a tincture and then let it sit in your mouth for a couple of seconds, typically about 15 to 20 seconds, much of that absorbs right into the bloodstream and then you'll swallow the rest, which micellized vitamin D3 is really, really cool because the D3 molecules are actually protected by all of those lipids. And maybe we can throw up a picture here on the screen and show you kind of what that looks like, where it's encased in those fats. And so it acts as a protection for it. So when you drink the rest of that liquid and you swallow it and it gets in your stomach, the acid in your stomach doesn't break down and destroy the D3. And that's often what happens in other forms of vitamin D3 when you take it, you swallow it, in the capsule form and some other oil forms that aren't micellized, when it gets in your stomach, it just destroys much of that D3. So by the time it finally passes through your tract to the small intestine and gets absorbed into the blood, your body doesn't have a lot to actually absorb because much of it has been destroyed. D3 and sunshine, like how our body exposed to sun makes D3 from the original form of D. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Right, yeah. So it's a very common expression that, hey, go outside, get your vitamin D.
Yeah.
What does that mean though? So those UV rays, similar to plants, it's probably our most similar thing to plants, is our skin absorbs that UV radiation and the body turns the normal vitamin D1, I guess is what we can call it, into vitamin D3, where our body can properly use it. It goes straight into our blood, which also helps prevent
osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis,
And
as well
osteopenia,
as,
which is decreased bone density.
yeah, and the blood thing.
Arterial calcification.
Arterial calcification. Yes.
It's like I could read your mind.
Right,
That's
yes.
incredible. Yeah, so basically what you're saying is vitamin D3 is a vitamin. Our body doesn't make vitamins. We only get vitamins from the food that we eat. So the food that we do eat is vitamin D, which is a form of the vitamin that our body can't use. So the only way that our body can convert that vitamin D to the form that it can use, vitamin D3, is through the right amount of sunlight exposure, specifically UV radiation from the sun. And all the research shows that between the times of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. is the peak sun exposure for where you can get the most amount of UV radiation. And the crazy thing about it is you have to get it on the core of your body for your body to be able to use that UV radiation to convert the vitamin D to the D3, which is what we want. And I don't know about you, but I'm not running around with my shirt off between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. every day, getting my core exposed to sunlight. And it's a minimum of about 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. So that's kind of crazy when you look at it. So the likelihood is if you're watching this video, you probably have low levels of D3. And the best way to check that is a functional medicine doctor, a chiropractor, or a clinic that is able to run blood work for you, like we can here in Nashville, Tennessee, and actually tell you what your levels are. If your levels are lower than 60, you are low and deficient in vitamin D3. Moving on to the next topic, why is micellized D3 really good if you're vegan or vegetarian?
It's a great question, Dr. Dave. So, in the past, the majority of vitamin D3 supplementation has been mostly animal-based. However, with
What kind of animals?
sheep and
And their wool? That's crazy.
yes,
So
yes.
most of the supplements, the D3 supplements on the market right now are sourced from sheep's wool? Ooh, funky. Micellized vitamin D3 is actually plant sourced. So because it's plant sourced, it's really, really safe, and therefore it's a great option for you if you're vegan or vegetarian. We've talked about micellized, lipids, fat, absorption, all kinds of stuff with the vitamin D3. So the take-home message at the end of the day is, do you need D3? Are you deficient? Well, if you haven't tested with blood levels, you probably are. And the reason why you probably are is you probably don't get enough sun exposure to where?
outside into the core.
Yeah, man,
Yes.
right on that core. So if you're watching the video, you're likely deficient in D3, and if you're already taking a D3 supplement, run to your medicine cabinet or your supplement cabinet, look at it and see if it's micellized. It should say it right on the bottle. If it's not micellized, you can pretty much bet you're probably not absorbing a lot of it. Functional medicine doctors, like myself, like Dr. Zach, we've done blood work with patients and seen that their levels being really, really low. We would prescribe in the past regular D3 supplement for them, take 10,000 IUs a day, take 50,000 IUs a day, super dose to try and get those blood levels up higher to where they need to be above the threshold. And after 2 months of taking regular D3 supplement, same levels when we do follow-up blood test. But then literally within a week and a half or 2 weeks of taking micellized D3 and switching it, boom, levels shoot up 25 points. Boom, levels shoot up 17 points in the blood. So we know that it works. So take home message at the end of the day, looking at the bottle, if the D3 isn't the form that it needs to be in, go get yourself some micellized D3 and start getting your body the D3 format that it can readily use, that's readily bioavailable, that it doesn't have to convert to a different form, and that's protected from your stomach acid to get into your blood. Anything else? I guess we can just say,
I think you covered it.
rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Like and subscribe.
Before I became involved with chiropractic care, which is about 4 years ago, I had major symptoms, and some of the top symptoms were definitely involuntary muscle spasms. I had high cholesterol, weight management issues, as well as infertility. My husband introduced me to chiropractic care.
I asked my wife to come and check it out at least and see how it would go.
I just really didn't have anywhere else to go, anywhere else to turn, just really didn't know what my other options were.
We was trying to figure out what steps to take to conceive, if it's anything that has to do with us.
We noticed that my spine was not aligned and it was impacting the function of my reproductive organs. And as a result, I was getting pregnant, couldn't sustain the pregnancy, and then eventually I wasn't getting pregnant at all.
So once we was able to get our bodies aligned at Stronghold, we was able to conceive, and now we carrying a bundle of joy.
So the Stronghold team is family. They have been family since opening the doors and even prior to. I feel as though they are the key to optimal health and sustaining life.
They love my child. We love them the same.
My son has been getting adjusted since he was 2 weeks old, and so he is a son of Stronghold, and we're proud of our relationship.
To your left.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Dr. Dave.
I'm Dr. Zach.
And I'm Dr. Max.
And we're board certified chiropractors here in Nashville, Tennessee. And today we're going to be talking to you about neck degeneration. You've probably heard terms osteoarthritis, degenerative disc disease, degenerative joint disease, DDD, DJD, all those terms thrown around. They're all essentially the same phenomena that's taking place where you're losing curve in your neck. You're losing the proper structure in your neck. So let's talk a little bit about that. What the heck's that even mean? Like losing curve in my neck?
Losing curve.
So we want it like this. Most of you come in like this.
And so that's looking at the side view of the neck, right? Yep. So
Yes.
it would probably be good to start right from the beginning, right there. In your neck, when you look at the side, you're supposed to have a nice 40 to 45 degree curve in your neck. And then you also should have a nice 40 to 45 degree curve in your low back. And then right here in the mid back, you have a curve going the opposite way. So from a side perspective, you probably, if you've been to a chiropractor before, they say you've got it, your spine should look like an S. There you go. It's kind of like a little S. And so that's healthy curve angles. And so when we say curve angles, that's what we mean is the angle of the curve in your neck should look something similar to that if it's normal and or healthy.
Healthy.
And when it's unhealthy, what happens?
This.
Yeah. Tech neck, you lose the curve angle in your neck, and you start having the bones eventually begin to straighten over time. So does that happen just like boom overnight? I wake up tomorrow morning and
No, it's based on what you do on a daily basis.
I'm gonna lose my curve today.
Yeah. So repetitive motion, looking down at your phone. Half of us have jobs that we're just sitting on a computer all day.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, so and that prolonged sitting is not only going to affect your neck curve because you're looking at the computer all the time, but your low back curve as well.
So if this was happening though and I was losing the curve in my neck, like surely I'd feel it, right?
You would think, but you'd feel it in other ways.
Yeah.
And the body adapts too. I mean, your muscles are going to feel it, but that becomes your new normal over time.
Yeah.
Because it's so slow. But those muscles.
In fact, if like without addressing posture. Like posture is a conscious thing. People are like, oh, I gotta fix my posture. Like I'm hunching, and they sit up straighter, and they're like, in that moment, I fixed it. But then the moment you stop thinking about it, it's like all the systems in your body for protection and like development over time, adaptation, it all just takes over and kind of puts you back to a default state. And that default state is ideally what we're looking at as chiropractors when a patient comes in for like the first visit. We want to put them in a nice neutral posture and actually take an x-ray so we can see bones. And when we can see the bones, we can tell you what the curve angle structure in your neck actually looks like. And a great video might be this video right here that we pop on to the screen. And in that video, what you're gonna see is a normal curve in the neck slowly starting to lose the curve angle and straighten, and with the straightening, all of the effects of gravity starting to cause the bones to reshape and degenerate over time. And so the point of it is that process is like over the course of someone's lifetime. So it's a slow, insidious, just like consistent progression where it's year after year after year of sitting the same way, eating the same way, laying the same way, sleeping the same way, driving the same way, right? Like all the things that we do, all just kind of like poured into one bucket, and then that's all of it together. And so might help them if we just kind of go through the stages of degeneration.
Sure, why not?
Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and just give you some visuals on what those look like.
So stage 1, it's the best stage to be in because we can totally bring you back to normal. Normal is right here. Stage 1 is when you just lose the curve. So disc, still healthy, but you have lost your curve and you're just waiting on gravity to take its effect.
So that one's like pure alignment and muscle.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
muscle memory is just kind of holding you in that position.
Yeah, so at that point, we do a lot of muscle work with you as well. We'll help retrain those muscles to bring that curve in. You may have some tight muscles in the front, stretched out muscles in the back. They're just ruining your posture. So we would want to restore that curve.
That's good
and
posture.
you'd be good to go. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. What is phase 2 or stage 2, Dr.
Stage
Matt?
2 is going to be where your curve, it's actually shown right here, instead of being straight, actually starts to reverse slightly. This is much more difficult to work with than stage 1. It's also going to start to give you some disc compression on the anterior portion of the disc, which can push it backwards, and then you'll start getting numbness, tingling in your hands and arms on a consistent basis.
So stage 2 is when you start getting degenerative joint disease. That's a form of osteoarthritis. Mm-hmm. That's where the bones start to reshape. You get these gnarly, pointy tips on the bones called osteophytes, or bone spurs. You've probably heard of bone spurs before. And then also where you get degenerative disc disease, like you're saying, where the disc begins to dehydrate, lose fluid, compress, and then get sick. And when that happens, that's between the bones. It's the shock absorber between the bones. So when that happens, you definitely start losing on the side where the nerve comes out, space for that nerve to freely come out, and it starts affecting the nerves more. And then I guess that leaves me with stage 3. So stage 3 or phase 3 degeneration is when your neck curve goes straight, reverse, and then in that reverse, you really start seeing the long-term effects of degeneration start to take over. It's where your body tries fixing it on its own. So if you have a really bad damage in your neck and a bad disc compression, you might go to a spinal surgeon and they fuse the bones together for you to fix the problem. This is actually where it's been going on so long that your body is the surgeon. So your body starts doing its own fusion and mending those bones together. And then a lot of people, when you get to phase 3 degeneration, it's like, we can't do a whole lot to help you fix the structure because the structure is so badly damaged, you can't really go back. So definitely don't want to wait until you get to phase 3. I'd say most of the patients, most people that chiropractors typically see and help and treat and improve are phase 1 and phase 2 easily. Yeah, so curve angles in the spine. I'll tell you a joke. I was at a grocery store and the cashier he's ringing up all the items for me and checking me out. This is before I got married, okay? And he's like, hey man, do you mind if I ask you a question? We got all the clerks here and we're doing a poll, we're doing a survey. What's the #1 thing you look for in a woman? And I was like, curves. She's got to have curves, right? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, she's got to have curves in this. And I was like, yeah, curves in her spine. They're like, wait, what? And that was my one-liner where I was like, yeah, guys, I'm a chiropractor. Here's my business card. Here's my business card.
Your dad,
Works
right?
every time.
That's your introduction to degeneration in the neck. And that same phenomenon, degeneration, can actually take place not just in the neck, but where else?
Oh, your entire spine. All of your joints as well. I mean,
yeah. So I guess the question we can leave everybody with is, when is the best time for me to kind of check this out to see if I have that going on?
Now?
now.
No. Yeah.
No better time than now.
It's never too soon, but it can be too late.
And it's because, ooh, I like that. One more time? One more time?
It's never too soon, but it can be too late.
That's right, it's never too soon to give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and show us a little bit of love for the algorithm.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and that's where we'll leave it. But no, seriously, if you haven't been checked, you haven't been to a chiropractor to have x-rays taken, actually see what the structure of your spine looks like, particularly in your neck, find a board-certified chiropractor near you. If you're in Nashville, Tennessee, feel free to come see us. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
When I was younger, I struggled personally with my health. I had a difficult time breathing. I had really, really bad asthma. I had severe allergies where I would swell up all over the body, eyes would puff up, and I would get these allergic reactions. And when they tested me, I was allergic to literally everything under the sun. So I was on 2 allergy medications, 2 different asthma inhalers, nasal spray, and I continued with that from when I was roughly 3 years old all the way up until 17, going on 18. So my childhood, I never had that thing that I'm so passionate about, which is health, you know, and it's a birthright. You're born with it, and somewhere along the way, just like when you're a kid, you believe you can do anything and be anybody, and somewhere along the way, someone tells you you can't. Well, with our health and with me particularly, I never really had a choice because I didn't know any better. I just started expressing the symptoms and there was something wrong with my body. But all the way throughout my childhood, struggling to breathe, not being able to play sports, there wasn't ever a doctor that was helpful to show me what the cause was. It was always another asthma inhaler, another medication.
That feel okay? Yeah. Good. Okay, breathe in, all the way out. Good. And one more time right here. Breathe in, all the way up. Good. You don't feel nearly as stuck today. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Drop it to the side. Beautiful. Nice. Good job.
Oh, yes, that was beautiful.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Relax that. Good.
Ooh, there it is.
Look now halfway over here. Open. Right. Good. Nice.
Yep.
Oh my God.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. There we go.
Nice.
Awesome. Good. All the way up. Awesome. Back.
Yeah.
1, 2. Good.
Pelvic wedge placement. So you're gonna take the largest surface, not the 90-degree bend, but the longest surface, and that's what's gonna contact your body. Thin part faces towards the spine, thick part goes out the opposite direction. High placement is gonna go on the part of your hip where your bony dimples are. So you're gonna place your hands on your hip. You're gonna put your thumb on your bony dimple. Feel where that bony dimple is. Yep. That's where you're gonna take the wedge and place it for a high placement. Cool? High placement. Low placement, we'll have you turn to the side. You're gonna lift your leg, find where your leg meets your buttocks. That is where you're gonna do the low placement on the wedge. So go ahead and place your low wedge, and then you can put your leg down and turn your back towards her. Right high, left low. If you need to pivot the wedge to make it more comfortable, you're gonna make the opposite one parallel to it. So for instance, you're gonna go like that or like that, whichever makes it a little bit more comfortable, but the placement of the height is the most important part. High, low. Left high, belt line, right low. You're gonna wanna put it on the bony notch where your leg meets your hip. Right in the glute fold, low. High placement is gonna be where those bony dimples are on the back part of the hip. Cool. Step one, you're gonna place that chin piece from your traction unit in your armpit. Step two, you're gonna straighten your arm, lock your elbow with a flat hand. Step three, squeeze your elbow towards your ribs while keeping your arm straight. Make sure that you're staring straight forward as you do this. When you squeeze, you're counting for 5 seconds for a muscle hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax.
They're urgent to you because you want to get them done, and you either tell yourself, well, it's important, I need to do it right away, or it's not important, I can do it later. And so because of that, you only effectively ever get like 1 or 2 things done on a day in, day out basis that are super important to you, and then the rest get kind of put off. But you'll still get them done, maybe you'll just do it tomorrow. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to start prioritizing our categories and try and take more of the things that we find ourselves putting in category 3 into category 2. Because the things that naturally fall in category 2 are the things that are the most valuable to you long term. These are the things like relationships with your spouse. These are things like social life, your personal time. The biggest thing that most of us are robbed from is personal time with ourselves. And so you'll find that the things that will create less stress for you long term are always going to be the things in category 2. So with our hips, one of the things that'll end up happening is you'll have that hip that drives into a higher position. But really one of the things that does it is your hip flexor muscle going super tight on one side. And your hip flexor is what attaches to the bones in your low back, goes down the front and lifts this leg here. So it becomes over tight and then pulls that hip up. So if we want to help you level out that hip, this stretch is specifically supposed to be done in conjunction with the other exercise called your psoas or hip flexor exercise, which you'll see in another video. But to do the stretch on that high hip, we want to stretch that psoas muscle out to help level out the hips. So this is a lunge exercise. You probably have seen this before. But to do this exercise, ideally you want to get yourself a chair. And for that chair, you want it to be so that when you put your foot up on the chair, it's close to your knee being at the height of your hip. So that's pretty good for him. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands on our hips for stabilization. We're going to bring that back leg back, back, back. And then we're going to make the back leg nice and straight. We're going to keep the torso in a nice upright position, and we're going to lunge into the direction of that knee, and then you're gonna hold it while arcing those hips forward. And you should feel this right in that hip flexor region. Should feel a nice stretch in there, and you're gonna try and hold this for a 45-second to a minute hold. And some of us might only be able to do this for like 20 seconds. Ladies that do the yogi, all the yoga exercises, you probably can do this for like 3 minutes, but ideally 45 seconds. And if you do it on the side where you really need it, you'll feel it pretty quick. So 45 seconds to a minute. This is your psoas stretch or hip flexor stretch exercise.
So basically what you're gonna do for this is you're gonna take this foot, cross it over this foot. You're going to put your hands flat on the floor just for additional support. You're gonna lift your legs up, and then you're gonna press them into the side of the wall as hard as you can press while maintaining that height. And breathe through it. And you're gonna try and hold that height with your heel, so don't let your legs go any lower than that, but maintain that pressure where you're pressing into the wall. Where do you feel that, Zach?
My core.
Where else do you feel it?
Low back, legs.
Right on that QL muscle?
Yeah, my QL, shit.
Yeah, so this is gonna work a lot, but it's really gonna work that QL. Especially when you do that side motion with the leg cross. So you might even go down just a little bit lower. So you're like an inch off the floor and then press to the side in the wall. And that's where you probably are gonna feel that QL the most. And relax. The advanced version of this, you're still going to do the rotation for the upper half of your body. You're going to turn and look behind you, elbows and upper half of the body are going to follow. However, the bottom half of your body, you're doing the forward to backward flexion of the hip bones. And so this is a compound functional movement. Forward to backward with your hips, side to side with the upper half of the spine. This is working all three regions in the movements that they're designed naturally to do. 30 reps in the morning, 30 reps in the evening, right before you go to bed. Rotation side to side, hand over hand, an elbow formation. You're gonna turn and look behind you, turn and look with your head. Body follows head, it's all about posture. Your rib cage and your arms are gonna follow where your head goes. Your body always follows where you look. So lead with your head, slow, controlled, exaggerated motion with the rotation on this. 30 reps in the morning, 30 reps in the evening, to be done with the rest of your mobility warm-ups.
Yo, yo, guys. Welcome back to our show. Okay. Hey, guys. Dr. Zach Farmer here.
Dr. David Hausman.
Yeah, and welcome back to episode 75 of Why.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, this is the Why series. And so the why question we're going to be answering today is an infamous why question. This is a why question that's infamous in everybody's life. Why do I got neck pain?
Why?
Why does 90% of America walking around end up having neck pain
Why?
at some point in their life?
Well, let me ask you a question. What do the majority of people do about 2 to 3 hours a day minimum?
Maybe this.
Yeah. How many people in your
Or like this.
in your daily life, in your family group, in your friend group, have a cellular device? I'd say the majority. Right?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
And where do you typically hold that device?
Below the eye level.
Below the eye level. Yeah. I don't know where.
Easy arm level, like right out in front of you, 90-degree angle with the elbows.
Now let me ask you a question. What is the degree of the neck curve supposed to be?
Well, that's a great question. So scientific research shows that the normal curve in your neck, for those that don't know, if you're looking at the spine from the side, the purple part of the spine, your neck, it actually should arc, should have a curve. It should not be whoop, straight. That's a bad,
Why
ugly
not?
tech neck.
Wait, don't we want our spine to be straight?
No, well, you want your spine to be nice and straight from the front.
Okay.
And if you ain't, that's called scoliosis or lateral curve in the spine. We don't like scoliosis. All right, but if you have it, we still like you. We can help you. From a side view, though, you're supposed to have curves. So nice curve here, nice curve in the blue part of the spine where your ribs attach, and then down there in the low back, the green part of the spine. That's your lumbar spine, low back. Your lumbar spine and your neck should both have similar curves, right? So that's facing forward, that's facing backward. So you're supposed to have this nice arc, to answer your question.
Okay.
We call it the arc of life, because all the information, the life that your brain sends down your spinal cord has to flow through that arc before it ever gets out down there. Vital organs, heart, lungs, stomach, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, it's supposed to be a 43-degree arc. 42 to 45 degrees is what the research shows, and that's based off of the angle that each of those little purple bones sits on top of one another at. 7.5 degree angle, roughly speaking. Yeah.
Okay. So whenever we lose that curve or we start to have a straighter neck, what is that doing to us? Why do we have pain?
Well, I like to explain it like this to patients. So when you start losing the curve in the neck, you carry around a bowling ball all day long, right? It's called your head. Most people's heads. And that big skull up there weigh anywhere from 14 to 16 pounds, maybe 18 pounds if you're super smart. So that big bowling ball head has to be carried on those neck bones. So the arc up there, an arc is a very strong structure. When you push down from the weight of gravity carrying that head, if you have a good arc structure, you would have to apply so much downward force that you would fracture and break these bones before the shock absorbers in between those bones ever herniate. So before you ever have a disc herniation, if you have a healthy curve, you would have to break the bones to have a disc herniation. So basically what that means is with a healthy curve in your neck, you're never gonna have a disc herniation. Okay. So what happens is you start losing the curve, gravity starts pulling everything forward and you get that straight neck, it totally throws off all the biomechanics. So now if I'm pushing down, boom, it just stacks all of the weight through those bones and it puts all the weight on the front on the disc. So you start having weaker areas in the neck that begin to buckle over time. It's called disc compression and disc herniation. Here's another way to think about it. Structure, right? My car, everybody drives cars. So if you're driving your car and your car's wheels are 1 degree out of alignment and you keep driving 40,000 miles, does the tread on the tires evenly wear?
I don't believe so. No.
You're gonna have like a bald spot on one part of the tire, and the tread's gonna unevenly wear, and you're gonna have certain spots on the tire that will be weaker spots, even though the tire is the same age. Okay. I can't tell you how many times we've had patients that have come in and they're like, I went to orthopedic and he said I've got osteoarthritis in my neck. And I say, oh, well, why do you have osteoarthritis? And they go, oh, well, the doctor said it's just old age. I'm like, so does your entire neck hurt or is it just that one spot? They're like, just that one spot. I'm like, do you have osteoarthritis in your entire neck or just that one spot? They're like, just that one spot. I'm like, but if it's old age, then why don't you have osteoarthritis on all the other levels? And it's not because of old age, it's because of bad structure over time. Similar to like the wheels on the car being out of alignment. So the same story here. 90% of America has neck pain because of structure and alignment issues in the neck that have gone undiagnosed.
Gotcha.
Which begs the next question, well, how could it have gone undiagnosed for so long?
Well, did you go to a spine doctor or to a pain doctor?
Or maybe they just don't have pain yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this whole tech neck phenomena where you lose the curve in the neck is a slow process. It's not like you wake up one day and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna lose my neck today, lose my neck curve. It's a slow process where gravity just starts pulling your head forward, and little by little, over time you build muscle memory around that posture, like that.
Okay.
So 12 years go by, 15 years go by, and then eventually it's been stacked in a bad position for long enough, now you start having pain, right?
Yeah.
So, makes sense.
Another cool fact about pain in general, about how much of our nervous system actually experiences pain.
Oh, yeah, so speaking to that, you can have pressure on a nerve. Sorry, I was tightening the bolt. The hip is like literally falling out. You don't want that to happen to you. Nervous system, how much of the nervous system senses pain?
Yeah, well, why don't you have pain every time you look forward?
So research shows that out of all of the nerves that we have in our nervous system, which I think is close to about 48 million nerves in your nervous system, only about 8% of them roughly sense pain.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I can have...
It's like a bulk of the nerve function. You could have pressure on a nerve coming out of your spine, and it could be compressing that part of the nerve that isn't pain nerves. And so there's a lot of us that are walking around with damage on nerves, and we don't know it because it is affecting nerves that aren't pain nerves.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like I just learned something.
Yeah, I hope you did too.
Yep. So 90% of America, it's probably a higher number than that, has neck pain, but 90% of America has neck pain because we all have spines, and our spines aren't really looked at as being priority in health, right? Like everybody and their mother is like super cognizant of bringing their kids to the dentist, starting good dental care, getting regular 6-month dental checkups, but it's just like not the same mentality for our country for spine.
Yeah, I mean,
right, for like chiropractic, like go get it checked out, get an initial screening, make sure your kid's spine is growing properly with the right curve angles so they don't have issues when they're 18, 25, 30 years of age. But we just don't have that mentality.
Right. Well, what's easier, maintaining your car, putting oil in it, making sure the tires are in line, doing all your normal tune-ups every 3 to 6 months, or just buying a new car for, 20, 30, 40 grand.
Well, there's the problem. Most of us don't want to dump $20,000, $30,000 into a new car, nor do we need to if we were just smart enough and diligent enough to just take care of the one we already have.
Right.
And the same holds true for us as humans. And I would step it up one level from there, and I'd say the car that you're driving is your body.
Right. And so we can't upgrade our body, can we?
So we're we can't, but you should upgrade it mentally and start looking at your body instead of a Hyundai, like as a Lamborghini or a Maserati, like a high performance machine. And when we start changing and shifting our perspective like that, it's really easy to start making better decisions for our health, right? Because like if I had a Maserati, like I would make sure the inside of that thing is staying nice and clean. I want to make sure the value of that car is staying where it needs to. I don't want any nicks or dents on the outside of the car. I'm going to put high premium gas in it, right? And I'm going to do those things because I'm going to take care of that car at a very high responsibility level, as opposed to like if I had the ding beater that I got when I was a kid, my first car in 1989, Buick LeSabre, used, that like 175,000 miles on it. And I drove that thing and just like didn't take care of it because it was a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
So I think the important message here is, 90% of America has neck pain because we all have spines, and the structure of our spine has probably been put to the back burner and hasn't really been a priority because of lack of knowledge.
Right.
I think a lot of people just don't know how important it is to do a screening and like check the structure of your spine and make sure things are in the right alignment so you don't end up having problems. And then for others of us, it's already gone on long enough that we are having problems, and now we're kind of behind the 8 ball trying to figure out how to take care of the pain problems now. And unfortunately, we're taking probably extreme measures to do that because we don't know chiropractic care can help us.
Right. Yeah. Why not just take a Tylenol and turn off that check engine light? Or actually fix the problem.
Cover up the check engine light with black tape. Exactly. Now we can get into that on another video, but I mean, yeah, it's absolutely 100% true. So take care of your Maserati, your, Lotus, your whatever fancy car you identify as. Take care of that fancy car, take care of your body, and make healthy decisions for your health. You gotta drink healthy water, eat clean organic food, exercise and get movement in your body, take care of your teeth. Taking care of your spine and your nervous system, though, probably trumps all of those. So if you haven't started that journey, start it today.
Yes, today, right now.
There you go. And that's why 90% of America has neck pain. So if you've enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Help us with the YouTube algorithm, and push the bell so that you get notifications. So every time we drop new videos, you guys are the first ones to see it.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys.
Step 1, foam piece. Step 2, feet against the wall. Step 3, foam piece goes on forehead. Step 4, push forehead into wall. Make sure that you're standing upright, palms behind you, shoulder blades are together. Push in, hold for 5 seconds. Relax. Slow, controlled movement side to side. You're taking your elbow and touching it to your hip bone, not by rocking your shoulders side to side per se, but more so focused on pushing your hip bones on top of the mobility cushion side to side. This is all about forced, controlled motion in your low back by moving and controlling your hips, and the rest of the body follows. 30 reps in the morning, 30 reps in the evening, right before you lay down on your pelvic wedges and your rolls. Hands mid-thigh, you're taking your elbow and you're rocking it to your hip bone. Advanced.
This is Dr. David Hausman with Stronghold Health, and we have Sky Michael here with us. We're going to be discussing a little bit about his experience with our soft wave therapy device here in our clinic in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, I mean, I had relief from the very first time. I'm always skeptical just because until I have proof. So for me, the proof is in the putting some non-pain in my back.
Right, there you go.
But, about 20 years ago, I got hit by a truck 55 miles an hour. I was dead still, yeah.
Car accidents are no joke.
So you've seen my charts and my hips, which look like that instead of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that, I had so many things jacked up, particularly in that lower back region. So at least the last 10 years, you know, there's this grinding, and it's just this shooting pain. After just about 3 times of using this, right, I remember like getting out of my truck and walking. Matter of fact, no, you were here, Hunter, because I walked from the desk out here out to my truck.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in so many years that there wasn't pain there.
Wow.
That I actually noticed it.
Wow.
Right, because it's like
it had gotten
you
to
always
that point
feel the
where
pain.
You just like we're so used to it being your baseline,
it's just
you kind of
always
forgot
there.
it was there.
And then after that, went to the pinky as I'd fractured both knuckles. I play guitar, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it lit me up. But I'll tell you what, within immediately from that time, it started immediately feeling better.
That's the beauty of the technology. As long as we can get the pulsed sound waves from the soft wave therapy device into the area where there's tissue damage, it'll have that, start having that cellular healing response.
Yeah,
exactly. Just so cool.
All that swelling is gone. Like you could not see this knuckle
like
that right there.
It doesn't even look like it's swollen.
It was puffy. It was like this big puff ball.
So how's that been looking for you now with playing guitar?
Yeah, much better.
Much better?
Because I'm able to get into some of the intricacies where I'm stretching that
obviously
far.
If it was like swollen, you could move it to
when you're stretching that far and trying to move the tip of that pinky like that while having your fingers completely stretched out to be able to do something.
That's some skill.
You have to be able to have control of that finger and to be able to do so, because it was all numb in here, and I couldn't get it to bend all the way down. There was grinding.
And so the numbness, is that improved? where you have better sensation.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people don't know that the soft wave therapy device, it has a patent on peripheral nerve elongation, which basically means it causes nerves that are damaged to regrow.
Right. It allows electrical signal to flow again.
It helps to heal the actual nerve. And my entire childhood growing up, I was always told in anatomy physiology class, if a nerve is damaged, it's always damaged. Right. But the reality is your body can regrow that with the use of stem cells and exosomes. So it's really cool to hear your story.
It's really cool to have this story to be able to be cool for you, because otherwise I'd still be in pain, man.
Oh man, that's awesome, and that's what it's all about, is getting you out of pain and getting your body back to functioning, healing properly.
Yeah, and I'll add one thing too, and that is that getting the spine realigned correctly. And I'm not just talking about the adjustment itself, but with that Y strap, being able to get the decompression in there allows the flow to be so much better again. So not only that, so getting the Y strap, getting the hips done back in here, and then having the soft wave therapy on top of it to really, it's like the soft wave like helps to take all the nerves that are going like this and make them go,
Yeah, it's interesting because we have so many patients that are just chiropractic care, decompression, a lot of the other services that we provide, but they haven't touched this yet. And it's because they probably don't realize how integral and important it is for the soft tissue part. So what you're talking about is alignment, get the bones in the right position, get better movement in the joints. Chiropractic care, get the hips realigned, decompression, Y strap, take pressure off of the discs. So we do all that, right? But then there's all this soft tissue stuff, muscular problems, tension in the muscles, old scar tissue, and all of that can have positive benefit from being treated with soft wave therapy.
That's what I'm getting today, is the scar tissue
and
the toes.
And so it's really cool though, because you decided to dip in, try this. You're like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I remember the first day you were like, try it on my foot, but I think I'm gonna try it here, and I want to try it here, and I want to try it here, and I want to try it here. And you're like, let's just do it on my whole body. But clearly you benefited from doing that. So kudos to you on that, and thank you for sharing, man. Really, really appreciate it. Hey there, this is Dr. David Hausman with Stronghold Health, and today I just wanted to share a little bit about spinal decompression with you. If you're watching this video, you're probably researching the topic, you've Googled it, you've probably seen other videos. My main goal with this video is just to kind of describe what the experience of spinal decompression is like. With spinal decompression, you're dealing with, most of us, it's low back, compression on the shock absorber, the disc that's between the bones, at that spinal joint, and that disc itself is getting smushed, it's getting compressed, it's pushing downward and upward. So when we lay you on a spinal decompression table, typically it's laying face up. And as we lay face up, what happens is we put a harness around the waist, and then that's attached to a belt or a traction rod that's at the bottom of the table. And then we have little bolsters that go under your armpits, or a strap that goes around your chest that holds you in place for the upper half of your body. And a lot of people ask, well, what does it feel like? Mechanically, what we're trying to do is create separation. So we're pulling the hips that way while your chest stays in place. So it's effectively stretching and decompressing the joint that has the smushed disc. And so if it's done properly, it should be a very, very slow and gradual stretch. And in my experience and our own team members here at our clinic, a lot of people that have done spinal decompression, they describe it as kind of like floating in a pool or feeling like zero gravity. It's very, very slow and gradual. It should feel super relaxing. It's not going to be like a sudden jarring type of experience. It's very, very gentle, and it should provide insane relief, especially if you're dealing with a sciatica or a disc herniation that's causing radiating pain down the leg. What we're trying to achieve with that is take pressure off of the nerve that's shooting down the leg and gradually create that traction and separation and provide that relief that you're looking for. And so most people describe it as being very, very relaxing. Some people fall asleep on our table when we do the spinal decompression. And we like to set it up kind of like a spa-like experience. Dim the lights in the room, have some nice chill spa music going on. And a lot of times people get concerned with the spinal decompression, like feeling trapped on a table type of experience. If it's done properly and you're doing it at the right clinic, you should have a kill switch. So you're always in control. You're laying on the table, the decompression computer programming is running its course. In the middle of it, for whatever reason, you're feeling comfortable, you just hit that stop button and it kills the program. It stops, relieves all the pressure, you're fine, you're in control. Spinal decompression, our patients' experience in it is it's been a huge addition to the chiropractic care they were already receiving. And if you're already a chiropractic patient, you haven't been getting relief for low back or neck-based problem, it's likely a disc compression problem that needs to have spinal decompression added in as part of the treatment approach. So if you're considering spinal decompression therapy and you were kind of nervous or like worried about it, I have to reassure you that spinal decompression is super safe, is very, very relaxing, and it's probably the thing that you need to do to relieve that extra tension and get the pain relief that you're looking for. Please like and share this video so that we can help you make the rest of your days the best of your days.
Hey everyone, as a chiropractor, I typically see patients with poor posture on a daily basis, people suffering from tech neck. So we're gonna go over some quick tips to help you. 1, keep your shoulders back. 2, keep your chin from going too far forward. 3, keep your feet flat on the ground. Now, if you sit at a desk for your work on a daily basis like half of Americans do right now, get up, stretch your shoulders, stretch your neck. Your body will thank you. One more time, 3 tips. Shoulders back, chin back, feet flat on the floor. Like and follow us for more tips like this.
Did you know that a flea has a 36-inch vertical? Tiny little flea can leap 36 inches in the air. That is crazy to think about. Researchers took fleas, put them into a jar, put a lid on the jar, and when the fleas would jump, they would continually hit the roof of that jar. Eventually what they found is the flea would limit how far it would jump so that it wouldn't hit the roof of the jar. It would jump just high enough so that it could get real close to it and then back down. So it was limiting its capacity and its ability to adapt to the surroundings and the environment. My encouragement to you today is don't be the flea in the jar. Don't be limited by your environment. Be the person that you were designed and destined to be. Live to your potential, live your gift, be you. Like and follow us for more tips and tricks like this so that we can help you make the rest of your years the best of your years.
Before I became involved with chiropractic care, which is about 4 years ago, I had high cholesterol, weight management issues, as well as infertility. I just really didn't have anywhere else to go, anywhere else to turn, just really didn't know what my other options were.
We was trying to figure out what steps to take to conceive, if it's anything that has to do with us.
We noticed that my spine was not aligned and it was impacting the function of my reproductive organs. And as a result, I was getting pregnant, couldn't sustain the pregnancy, and then eventually I wasn't getting pregnant at all.
So once we was able to get our bodies aligned at Stronghold, we was able to conceive, and now we carrying a bundle of joy.
So the Stronghold team is family. I feel as though they are the key to optimal health and sustaining life.
They love my child. We love them the same.
My son has been getting adjusted since he was 2 weeks old, and so he is a son of Stronghold, and we're proud of our relationship.
Are you looking for something that's simple, convenient, and tasty, where you can get all of your servings of greens, probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes, adaptogens, which are great for hormone balance and stress reduction? Well, I got you covered. We got our Ultra Greens Plus berry flavor, and the Ultra Greens Plus actually even has added minerals and all of your vitamins as well. It's simple, convenient, 1 year shelf life. All you do is crack open the lid, fill it up to the water line with chilled water or milk if you want a creamier output on it. Go ahead and put the lid back on, shake it up, and enjoy. And did I mention it's tasty? This one's berry flavor. You also have our regular Ultra Greens. That's in chocolate and espresso. They are amazing because you don't even taste the greens. That's why most people don't drink greens powder, because it tastes like greens. This doesn't. So check it out, strongholdhealth.com, click on shop.
Slow, controlled movement, side to side. You're taking your elbow and touching it to your hip bone, not by rocking your shoulders side to side per se, but more so focused on pushing your hip bones on top of the mobility cushion side to side. This is all about forced, controlled motion in your low back by moving and controlling your hips, and the rest of the body follows. 30 reps in the morning, 30 reps in the evening, right before you lay down on your pelvic wedges and your rolls.
Hey, this is Dr. David Hausman with Stronghold Health, and today we're going to be going through the top 10 myths regarding chiropractic care. So number one, chiropractors aren't real doctors. Let's go ahead and go through this. In order to become a chiropractor in the first place, a licensed chiropractic physician in all 50 states in America, there are minimum classroom requirements and degree requirements. In order to even get into chiropractic school in the first place, you have to enter with a bachelor's degree. For instance, for myself, I graduated from UNC Chapel Hill with a 4-year degree in biology and chemistry. I knew I wanted to become a chiropractor, and so that was my entry point even into chiropractic school in the first place. And then it's a 4-year program to get your doctorate. So when you're looking at the total length of time, that's about 8 years of education. And medical school is pretty close to about 8 years as well. We actually go through in chiropractic school the same education requirements for a medical student for an MD degree. The main stark difference is very simply in med school, they're going to learn to prescribe medications. So they have to take pharmacology class and they have to take drug interactions classes, amongst others. So they spend a lot of classroom hours on pharmaceuticals and learning how to prescribe medications. With chiropractors, we don't prescribe medications, we work naturally with the body to get the body to heal. With that being said, we end up taking all the classroom hours we would have used for pharmaceuticals and we end up applying that to anatomy, physiology, and differential diagnosis. So the truth be told, if you stack up a chiropractor, licensed chiropractic physician with a DC degree next to an MD, we can outdiagnose MDs. And I've seen that in my own clinical experience with patients coming in, being able to diagnose problems that they have, where their general family practitioner wasn't able to really give them a solution to it. And it's because we spent so many more classroom hours on anatomy, physiology, x-ray, and differential diagnosis. Also, us as chiropractors, we have to go through the same state and national board examinations. There are licensing bodies that are in place to make sure that we have that same quality level of education and clinical competence. And so just the same way that a medical doctor has to go through their boards, pass their board exams, we have to go through the same thing. Number 2, chiropractic care is dangerous. My simplest and easiest response to this is look at what is my cost as a chiropractic physician for malpractice insurance. On an annual, I'm looking at anywhere from about $1,200 to $1,500 for $3 million policy coverage, versus medical doctor prescribing pharmaceuticals can be up to a minimum of 10 times that amount, $10,000 a year. So that alone should tell you safety. My own clinical experience, I've done over 380,000 adjustments and haven't hurt a single person. So in terms of chiropractic care not being safe, I would argue the statistics are far in our favor that it's the most conservative and safest of many of the medical approaches or non-medical approaches to healthcare. Number 3, chiropractic care is only treatment for back pain. It is true that chiropractic care is the #1 treatment approach for neck and low back pain. However, with that being said, chiropractic care is taking care of the entire framework of the human body through the nervous system. And so we have patients that we've been able to help with headaches, migraines, numbness and tingling issues, digestive problems, heart conditions, and the list goes on, because at the end of the day, chiropractic is reconnecting the brain to the organs of the body through our nervous system, through the wiring system, if you want to think about it that way. And so chiropractic care is all designed to take pressure off of our nervous system so that our brain can properly send life down our spinal cord, out the nerves, to every organ, cell, and tissue of the body, so that our body can thrive and heal from the inside out. 4, chiropractic care is expensive. I would argue that chiropractic care is one of the most affordable and conservative treatment approaches, especially considering the top 2 reasons that most people end up missing work and having sick days from their job are neck pain and low back pain. Chiropractic treatment is the #1 treatment approach, conservatively speaking, for neck pain and low back pain. There's studies that have been done in other countries and here in America. A Sweden study, for instance, that showed that chiropractic patients had significantly less sick days, less hospitalization, 60% less pharmaceutical costs. And it's because, generally speaking, the mentality of an individual to take preventative and proactive approach towards their health means that they're going to end up having less health issues in the long run. Number 5, chiropractic care is painful. Honestly, my first chiropractic adjustment from my own experience is I didn't even feel it. In fact, it felt like a huge light bulb going off, a huge burst of energy, a rush of oxygen to my brain. And again, in my own clinical experience and working with thousands upon thousands of patients, hundreds of thousands of adjustments, I can't even think of any more than maybe one occasion where I had someone that complained about pain. And that one individual had a hot disc, they were just in a car accident, they had severe trauma that they had just sustained. And so it was working with them maybe a little too soon. We had to wait a couple of days for their body to recover a little bit from that initial trauma. So with that being said, I mean, chiropractic care, like super gentle. We work with kids, newborns, all the way up to geriatric patients. One of my youngest patients was 1 minute old, and one of my oldest patients was 94. And so with that being said, chiropractic care is not painful. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, please go ahead and drop it in the comment section below, and let us know if there's other content that you'd like for us to film, and please give us a thumbs up, a like, and hit that notification button so you can get notified when we have new videos drop. We're vibing on the vibe platform. We're doing our weights, and today's video we're going to talk to you a little bit about weights, weight configurations, why they're so important, how that has to do with muscle rehab, and then vibe platform. So we're just, we're having good vibes.
So today's video is all about that vibe. Okay, so why do we vibe in the first place? I guess that's the best place to start. Vibration platform is somewhere between 43 and 46 hertz frequency, and that just means that that's how many times it shakes in 1 second, which is kind of crazy. So
It's all about reprogramming our body's proprioception, which is our body's muscle memory.
wait, proprio what?
Proprioception. So proprioception, our nerves do a lot of cool things, such as feel pain, feel pressure, control our muscles, but a cool thing that they do is tell us where our body is in space. So if we close our eyes, proprioception is how I know my left hand is up or my left hand is down. So this helps us reset our body's natural state of our muscle memory, our posture, basically.
So are you saying that our brains are really, really smart, and when we're not thinking about our posture, our body's controlling our posture?
I'm saying that, yes.
That's amazing. And the fact is, this actually happens 2 times a second, every second, without you thinking about it. There's a part of our brain called the cerebellum, and the cerebellum is the balance portion of the brain. And basically what that part of the brain does is it acts like a computer, and it takes all of that nerve input from these proprioceptive nerves, right? So these not pressure nerves, but space orientation nerves. It takes all the information from that, and it filters that information, and then 2 times every second, without you thinking about it, it's modifying your muscle tone to keep you centered in space. So it's always trying to keep like our head centered above our tailbone and trying to basically adapt us to the environment that we're in so that we're not falling over and we're not jellyfish. So proprioceptive nerves, the Vibe platform takes that response from 2 times a second and it actually amplifies it. It increases it all the way up to about 43 times a second. So we're bombarding that part of the brain and essentially hacking the neurology to try and reprogram our posture muscles so that it helps to support our spine. And then we really stress it out and freak out the system a little bit, if you will, with adding in cool stuff like this. Head weights. And then shoulder weights. And we also do isometric muscle holds, CTP traction pull, and we also can wear the weights across the body on the shoulders so that it's coming down across to the side in a purse weight configuration. We also will use the same weights to hang it on a hip. We'll hang it on the front or the back of the hip girdle. And all of these different weight configurations, basically what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to stress like the weaker muscle groups, right? So that we can get those muscle groups to activate while you're on the Vibe platform and all that new nerve data is going in. So the brain's like reinforcing that posture so that when you get off and you go home and your spine's in a better position from getting adjusted, it actually starts to retain that position. That's where the muscle memory component comes in. So why Vibe? That was the answer, man. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of information. Yeah, in so few words. But yeah, and then also the Vibe platform feels really, really good. So unless
it tickles a little
you have incontinence issues, it might make you need to use the bathroom. Or if you have really bad like sinus drainage, it will help to drain some of the sinuses. But outside of that purpose for the Vibe platform, vibration therapy is also like really, really good for small supportive muscles. So like if you work out on a Vibe platform, and normally on regular floor you could do like 30 push-ups, it fatigues the muscle 3 times as quick, I believe, on the vibration. So on a Vibe platform, you might only be able to do 10 push-ups. Like if your feet and your hands were on the Vibe and you were trying to do push-ups the whole time because you have all those small stabilizing muscles that have to like kick in from the vibration. Originally when chiropractic biophysics, Pedabond, different chiropractic techniques were doing a lot of this muscle rehab research, they were originally having people wear head weights and body weights on a treadmill, and they had them walking on a treadmill for about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's where they noticed they were getting really good improvement with muscle retention for retraining the muscles. And so then someone smart along the lines, it wasn't me, I didn't come up with this, was like, hey, vibration therapy fatigues the muscle 3 times as quick, so if 15 minutes walking on the treadmill can do it, we can do it in 1/3 of the time on vibration. And then with the research, they discovered the vibration actually increases the retention of that muscle memory because of the proprioceptive nerve input and bombarding that part of the brain.
And that's why we give you one of these to take home. You don't have a vibe plate at home. None of us do. Maybe Dr. Dave does, but
I actually do.
You do?
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Of course.
But yeah, so if you don't have a vibe plate at home, you can use this and effectively retrain your muscles in your neck to help pull your head back. You just got to leave it on for a little longer, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. You can do this while doing various tests. You can even sit on your couch with it, honestly. Dr. Dave used to ride around to school.
Yeah. But when I was going to chiropractic school, so it was like 1998 Lincoln Town car, riding around in style. I remember one time I pulled up to a red light, looked over. At the time I was a single guy, right? So gave the girl the nod, and she was like, you know, sitting there driving with headlights on. But can we do this laying down? Probably not.
No.
Just sitting on the couch, upright position is totally cool. How about, I'd say the best time to do it at home is probably like when folding laundry?
Cooking.
Cooking,
although you
standing.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking down while you're doing it.
Yeah.
So folding laundry.
You can look
So
down.
when you're texting like this, because I know everyone's doing it correctly now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the big thing with it is when you're wearing the head weights, it's like you're just like doing whatever task you would be doing otherwise. You just don't want to be looking down the entire time. So like you can look down, you can look to the side, you can be sitting working at a computer if the computer is in like a decent position where you're looking somewhat upright. You just don't want to be putting yourself in a position where you're reinforcing really bad technique or horrible posture for the entire time you're wearing it. And then how long should we wear it at home?
Probably 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. So like just like the research on the treadmill.
Just long enough for your spouse or kids to make fun of you.
Just long enough for that. At the office, we also, right after you get adjusted in the adjusting bay, you probably noticed the little thumper gun. The arthrostim, I believe is what it's called. And the arthrostim, we actually use that to prime that part of the brain, the cerebellum, to make the Vibe platform that much more effective. So shared loading, how would you describe shared loading?
Shared loading is, so in your neck you have multiple segments, you have 7 different vertebrae, and you have a ideal curve in your neck. We typically talk about that, your first, second, third appointment. You should have a C curve in your neck. And
like trying to do it the wrong way.
Like this, yeah. And the typical person with neck pain tends to start to lose that curve, and the shared loading happens right at the apex of that loss of curvature. So that's where we're really starting to get that curve back into your neck. We're pushing those facet joints where those proprioception nerves are,
right,
in those joints. We're moving those back to where we can get that ideal curve in your neck and have the ideal posture. Wow, that was a great adjustment, Dr. Max. Are we done?
Oh no, Dr. Zach, we've got one more thing.
Oh,
face the adjuster gator for me and look down.
Okay.
And this is the arthrostim. What we're doing here is bombarding the proprioceptors in your facet joints to help reset the cerebellum, the balance center of your brain.
Wow, I feel balanced.
You look balanced, Dr. Zach.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so when we do the arthrostim right at the end of the adjustment, digital motion x-rays actually show that it restores the curve temporarily. So like live motion x-rays, like if we're doing a video of the actual bones, when we're doing that arthrostim on the back part of the neck, we're doing 6 impulses per second typically. Like Dr. Zach said, we're hitting the back part of the bone and we're driving the bone forward on top of the bone below it, and when we do that, it stimulates those nerves in the joint. And those are the same nerves that we have on our feet, the proprioceptive nerves that have all that input to the balance part of the brain. But at that impulse of 6 impulses per second, when we do it that way, the research indicates it basically fatigues the cerebellum, it fatigues that part of the brain temporarily. So over the next like 7 to 15 minutes is a prime window where you can actually reprogram that part of the brain, which is why we want you to do the Vibe platform right after that. Yep. Cool stuff.
Cool. Very cool.
So, if you see us in the adjusting bay and we've got good vibes, that's because we spend hours a day when you're not here, and the office is closed and you're not getting adjusted, and in between hours, we're on the Vibe platform. This is our happy place. We don't go home. We
just chill.
Literally vibe all day long. We do our exercises. We do our CTP traction, and we do our head weights. Ooh, double chin. Keep the double chin. Pull the head back. 5-second hold. All right, peace out, kids.
We're all vibing out doing our weights. In today's video, we're going to be talking to you a little bit about weights. Hey, this is Dr. David Hausman with Stronghold Health, and today we're going to be going through the top 10 myths regarding chiropractic care. Number 6, if you start chiropractic treatment, you have to do it for forever. I always have to ask a question with this, rhetorical, and I know you can answer it yourself. Are there certain things that we have to do for our health? Yes, absolutely. We have to drink healthy, drink water to sustain our bodies. We have to eat clean organic food. We have to exercise and move our bodies regularly. Dental care, we have to take care of, brush and floss our teeth to maintain the health of our teeth. And so there's certain things at the end of the day that we have to do, generally speaking, for our health. The number one thing you can do to take care of and maintain your nervous system, arguably the most important system in your body, is chiropractic care. And so with that being said, does that mean you have to get adjusted for the rest of your life? Not necessarily. There's plenty of examples of people that start chiropractic care, overcome a neck or low back problem or another specific health issue, and then they don't get adjusted for the rest of their life and they do good. Arguably speaking, the ones that maintain their spine with some preventative treatment, maybe once a month or a couple times a year for realignment, end up doing far better. So at the end of the day, you don't have to, but it would behoove you to. Number 7, chiropractic care requires referrals. In my experience, we're in network with pretty much every major medical health insurance company. Arguably, we're only in the state of Tennessee, but we haven't really seen that to be the case. Most often, chiropractic care is a primary portal of entry, and in the state of Tennessee, chiropractors are actually considered a primary physician, primary healthcare physician, which a lot of people don't know. And so with that being said, we are in a specialty realm where insurance coverage can be considered specialty, but it doesn't require a referral. The most that we've seen from insurances is they might require a pre-authorization, which is a document that we, the provider, have to send to your insurance company to get coverage approved. Outside of that, it doesn't mean you have to go to a different doctor to come see us in the first place. You can just come directly to us. Number 8, chiropractic care is not safe for children. BS. That's bad belief systems. At the end of the day, chiropractic care is one of the gentlest and safest approaches actually for pediatric patients. My own experience working with both of my children, my daughter Gigi, for example, we adjusted her, gave her her first chiropractic adjustment while she was still connected, umbilical cord on mom's chest. 1 minute after birth, maybe it was 30 seconds after birth. It was the very first thing that I did was check the top bone in her neck to make sure the birth trauma itself did not misalign it, which it did. And she needed a lateral atlas adjustment. And so for pediatric patients, it doesn't require a lot of force. It's not snapping bones like you see for adults. It's often the same amount of pressure as testing the ripeness of a tomato for the amount of force. It's very, very gentle. There is no twisting and manipulating. For children, they still have growth plates, the bones aren't completely fused yet, so it has to be a very gentle approach. Chiropractic care is fantastic for pediatric patients. Number 9, chiropractic care just cracks bones. The truth of the matter is we actually aren't cracking any bones. I think in people's heads when they hear the crack noise, they think a bone is snapping or a bone is rubbing on another bone, creating a pop noise. What actually happens is when we move a bone on a joint, how it articulates with the bone above or below it, your body has a joint capsule that's full of fluid and air gas. And so when we move a bone and realign it back into the right position, just like when you pop your knuckles, you hear a pop noise. And that pop noise is actually carbon dioxide or gas releasing or escaping very quickly from the joint capsule itself. So the pop noise is just a side effect of realigning the bone. Taking two bones that are out of position and putting them back in the right position, the pop noise is also a relief for many people. The pop noise itself has a side effect where the body releases endorphins, and endorphins are your feel-good hormones. So naturally speaking, if you like pop your own neck, even though you might not be realigning it to where it needs to be, you're still gonna have an endorphin rush and a feel-good hormone. So back to, does chiropractic care hurt? No, most people it actually feels really good. We're not just popping and cracking bones, we're realigning the joint. And number 10 myth, chiropractic care is just placebo. Nonsense. There's so much research out there. You can Google and get research all day long on all the different things that have been measured biochemically speaking, anatomically speaking, with chiropractic care and the positive patient outcomes. A couple of simple examples is before getting adjusted and then after getting adjusted, seeing an increase in blood oxygen saturation. Before getting adjusted, after getting adjusted, seeing an increase in vital lung capacity. Reducing forward head positioning, for instance, by 1 inch increases vital lung capacity by upwards of 60%. That means how much oxygen you can hold in your lungs. We're talking about oxygen saturation to central nervous system and brain cells. Long-term chiropractic patients, there's a study that measured serum thiol levels. Serum thiol levels being a marker of longevity, but also a marker of the likelihood of an individual to have chronic illness. And what they found is chiropractic patients that had 2 years of chiropractic care or longer, so these are dedicated individuals that are preventatively taking care of themselves, those patients had higher serum thiol levels, meaning they had a lower incidence overall of chronic diseases like metabolic syndrome, cancer, diabetes, so on and so forth. So chiropractic care is far from placebo. Chiropractic care is clinically proven to have positive outcomes on your health. These are the 10 myths regarding chiropractic care. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, please go ahead and drop it in the comment section below and let us know if there's other content that you'd like for us to film, and please give us a thumbs up, a like, and hit that notification button so you can get notified when we have new videos drop. Bonus content, bonus myth. I know that you were thinking it while you were watching the video and you heard me popping my knuckles. I can't even do it anymore because I just popped them all, but does popping your knuckles, is it bad for your joints, or is popping your neck bad for your joints? Not necessarily. There was a rheumatologist that did a study, I don't remember the guy's name, specifically how long, so I'm roughly quoting this, but he popped all the knuckles on one of his hands and not on the other, and did it for, I think it was once a day for upwards of 2 or 3 years. And then they did follow-up x-rays and looked at the joint spacing and looked at the joint integrity and health, and there was no difference between the hand that he popped the knuckles and the hand that he didn't pop the knuckles. So just remember, when you pop a joint, especially spinal joints, it does relieve a little bit of tension. You might not be aligning it back to where it needs to be, and that's why x-rays come into play, and it's highly recommended you go see a chiropractor with x-rays, and they realign you based on those measurements. But either way, when you pop the joint, body releases endorphins, feel-good hormone, you feel better for a little while, ain't gonna hurt you. But that doesn't mean go adjust your wife and go snap your neck. Go see a licensed chiropractor. Can live 40 days without food, 7 days without water, 5 minutes without oxygen, but you can't live a single second without nerve supply. It's the most important thing. Chiropractic care, when it's done properly, allows your brain to fully and truly communicate through your nervous system, like wires, coming out to all of the organs, every single cell, tissue, and organ in your body, so that your body can function, heal, and design the way that it's supposed to. One of the most amazing things that we get to see take place with patients is when their body starts to heal and work the way that it's designed to, the pain they came in with, it's not about the pain going away, it's about them being able to do the things that they love. And that's my favorite thing, is when I have a patient tell me, I haven't been able to tie my shoes in 2 years. Such a simple thing, like being able to have the joy of bending forward without the pain, tie their shoes, or better yet, I was able to stoop down and actually pick up my grandson the other day. Like, that's incredible.
Wall angels. Step 1, heels are going to contact the wall. Step 2, buttocks contacts the wall. Step 3, shoulder blades on the wall. Step 4, arms up to the side. You're going to bring your hands as high as you need to so that your elbows also touch the wall and the back of your fingers are touching the wall. Great. Head is going to rest on the wall the entire time. Then from the front view, this is going to look like slowly lowering your elbows until you get to the point where you feel that one of those two hands is pulling off the wall. When you get to this point, you've gone too far. So you're going to go up just a smidge higher so that you can maintain contact with all of the points. Fingers, elbows, head, buttocks, heels, all touching the wall at the same time. And then you're going to hold this at the lowest possible point for 45 seconds. Well, starting with 20 seconds and eventually working up to 45 seconds. Wall angel.
Are we good now?
Yep. Yeah. How many times have you heard to just drink water? Our body's literally composed of like 70% water. The cells, the bones, your skin, every tissue in the body requires water. In fact, the discs in your spine are literally 88% water. So water is crucial to your health. Generally speaking, a lot of us just don't get enough water. So this is my friendly daily reminder. You should really be striving to drink half of your body weight in ounces in terms of water every single day. So what that means, I weigh 200 pounds. I should be drinking half of that 100 ounces per day as a minimum, or you could use the rule of thumb of 8 cups of water a day. Drink water today certainly beats Mountain Dew every day of the week. L3, L5, and C5 in the middle part of the neck are the most common areas that people have discompression issues because they're already stressed to begin with, but if you lose the proper curve angle in the neck, it puts even more stress on that area. If you lose healthy curve in the low back, then it puts even more stress on that area. So they're already compressed to begin with, they're designed to take on a compressive load, but when we mess up the structure of the spine and it puts more weight on those areas, then those are the first areas to buckle. Like and follow us for more tips and tricks like this so we can help you make the rest of your years the best of your years.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Zach, this is Dr. Max, and this is Dr. Dave. We're all board certified chiropractors here in Nashville, Tennessee. And today we want to talk about what is chiropractic. Are we just doctors that crack your back? What are we?
Crack docs?
Pop docs?
What's the difference between a pop star and a crack addict in the chiropractic world? It's really simple. You, by definition, are a pop star if you ascribe to the following. You enjoy the immediate sensation of relief when you get a chiropractic adjustment. You're a pop star.
So everyone knows about chiropractic for headaches, neck pain, low back pain, but we can do so much more than that. Most of you watching this video have probably been to a chiropractor before or are looking for help with one of those issues. But as I just said, there's so much more than we can do. Dr. Dave?
Yeah. If you've never been to a chiropractor before, excuse me, you'll likely visit a chiropractor because of the common issues that people already know, trust, and believe chiropractic care can help them with, like neck pain and low back pain and headaches and joint pain. But the reality is, as chiropractors, we're taking care of so much more. In fact, we'll reference this guy right here. So at Vanna White Moment, right? Yeah. So nervous system, what we really care about is what's inside of the bones in the spine. So we adjust bones of the spine, we move them to get them in better alignment, but it's all about why. Like, why the heck do we do that? We adjust bones to take pressure off of
the nervous system.
Here's what I found. There you go. Good job, Siri. So there's a power, there's life force, there's an energy, whatever you want to call it, that starts in your brain and it flows from your brain down your spinal cord, out each of the nerves in your body, kind of like wires, and it goes to every single organ every cell, every tissue of the body in some form or fashion. And so that life force is what runs, coordinates, regulates, harmonizes all of the systems in our body. Tells our heart how to beat, tells your lungs how to breathe, lets you wiggle your fingers, lets you be you. It's what makes you you. And that power that flows through that system, I think there's anywhere from 58 to 78 trillion nerves is what they estimate in that entire system. So it's a very, very complex system. How much of those nerves, like what percentage of those nerves would you say actually feel pain?
According to our research, anywhere from 7 to 9%. So not very much.
7 to 9% of those like 78 trillion nerves are pain nerves. That means that the other 91% of those nerves, 92% of those nerves are all just pure function. So they tell things how to work, and if there was a blockage or pressure or damage on that part of the nervous system where you can't feel it, sometimes you don't even know there's a problem until like years down the line when it's been there for long enough that it starts to manifest in symptoms. And that's what, unfortunately, where most of us end up living. So as chiropractors, really when you boil it all down, yes, we help people, and we're one of the best portal of entry treatment options for neck pain and low back pain. And we help people with those, but really at the end of the day, we're all about doctors of the nervous system. So you want to know a little bit more about that, be sure to click somewhere around this video and you'll get links to another video that we have on nervous system, and we'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of how chiropractors have that connection between the brain and each of the organs in the body, and we'll go through some examples as well.
Wow, look at that beautiful city, Nashville. Oh, hey, so if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a beat when we release new content. Also, try and hit that bell notification so that you do get alerts when we release that new content. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Dr. David Hausman with Stronghold Health.
I'm Dr. Zach.
And in this video, we're going to be telling you a little bit about drop tables. So if you've ever been perusing on Facebook, Instagram Reels, or TikTok, and you see the chiropractic adjustment videos where the table lifts and drops and lifts and drops, what the heck is that thing?
So that is a chiropractic drop table. It is a different type of chiropractic technique where we don't have to do as much twisting and pushing. It allows us to use gravity to our advantage. So the table can come up a couple of inches, and it allows us to use the old-fashioned Newton's physics.
The good old Newtonian physics.
Newtonian physics. So
Newtons. Not Fig Newtons, right?
No, not Fig Newtons.
Okay.
We all took physics at some point in our life, right? So we remember the old equation, force equals mass times acceleration.
Yeah.
So that allows us to use less mass, more acceleration with gravity to get the same
amount of force.
Like
we can adjust pretty much every segment of the spine. So low back, tailbone, hips, they require for those joints a lot more force than the rest of the spine would. I think it's 2 newtons of force to adjust spinal joints throughout a majority of the spine. But then when you go down in the low back particularly, and you want to adjust that area down there between your tailbone and your hips, that requires almost 10 times the amount of force, so 20 newtons of force. And in order for us to be able to get that amount of force without using a drop table, in some instances would literally be like pushing really hard or like crushing on a patient, and that's not going to be comfortable. So drop table gives us the advantage of being able to deliver a very quick impulsive force and take the body through a partial range of motion, because with the lift and the drop, your body actually moves as the drop table drops back down. And then the stopping force of when the drop piece actually comes to a halt is an increase in the amount of force that we're actually putting in that joint.
Right.
Does that make sense, or did I ramble?
It's pretty simple, honestly.
Yeah. So it's physics. It's Newtonian physics, not Fig Newtons. But drop tables are great because the advantages of a drop table for a chiropractic adjusting technique are patients that have osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, stiff and brittle joints, those are the patients that definitely benefit from drop table and drop technique, but we found it to be so beneficial, we use it for a lot of our adjusting at Stronghold Health. What else about drop tables?
Why is the drop table good for adjusting the lumbopelvic area instead of the rotation adjustment?
Well, that's a great question. So I believe what you're referring to is when you lay a patient on the side and they're in that like figure four and you twist their low back.
Yeah.
If you're a person that's dealing with a disc injury in the low back, a twisting type of maneuver like that can often aggravate the already injured disc that you have. So if it's herniated or a bulging disc, often it's easier for us to use backward to forward motion instead of twisting motion. And so the drop table allows us to do the backward forward motion where we're not going to be abrasive and really grind on that disc that's already injured. So we can still adjust the joint, we can introduce healthy motion into that spinal segment, but we can do it without creating or causing more aggravation. So definitely very beneficial for when it comes to like low back injuries and acute cases. Did I just call someone cute?
Acute.
Oh, acute.
Small.
Small cases.
Small cases.
Just happened, still healing.
Yeah.
But you're cute. Here we have Dr. Zach and Dr. Zach's model spine. And as you can tell, the hips are like way smaller than what they would need to be for Dr. Zach's actual anatomy here. So if Dr. Zach is a patient that's dealing with an injury to one of these discs in the low back, which is one of the most common issues that people come in dealing with for chiropractic clinics nationwide is a disc herniation or a disc injury, that shock absorber, the fiber cartilage, doesn't do really good with twisting when it's injured. It does great with twisting when it's not injured and it's healthy, but when it's injured, we don't want to twist and grind down on that fiber cartilage because it'll just prolong how the healing process and the inflammatory response would take. So anyway, long story short, with that area down there, we want to use a different adjustment technique, and that's where the drop table comes in and is very beneficial. So if you had a curve in the spine, the model's locked right here, so it won't let me do it, but if there was a curve, often the bones will twist and rotate towards one side, and that's what will happen with one of those in the low back. And we're going to do this based off of x-rays for all of our patients. So we'll take the x-rays, and the x-rays tell us what to adjust. I'm going to use the drop table to untwist that bone like that. Without actually twisting, I'm going to use backward to forward momentum or force. And that's where the drop table comes in, is very, very handy. We can lift the drop table and then drop it down, and as we drop it, let it unrotate. So for Dr. Zach, what that might look like is right down here in his low back. So we're going to come to that joint right there. I'm going to pull it from left to right and then drop it down all at the same time without doing an excessive twist. Just like that. Drop tables are awesome. They're great. Take a lot of pressure off of the doctor's body, but it allows us to introduce really good, healthy force to deliver the correct adjustment that you need for the patient.
Hey everyone, it's the docs at Stronghold Health here with you today. We're going to go over one of the biggest misconceptions with chiropractic care, in that it's only for adults. Chiropractic care is going to be great for infants all the way to seniors, and let's go over some of the reasons why.
For newborns and infants, chiropractic care is phenomenal. It helps with colic, it helps with digestive imbalance, constipation, it even helps with latching difficulty issues with breastfeeding for the little ones. It requires just a little bit of pressure. The adjustments are super gentle. It's the same amount of pressure that you'd use to test the ripeness of a tomato. So chiropractic care is phenomenal for infants and for newborns.
And for toddlers and young children, chiropractic care is very helpful for such childhood conditions as ear infections, asthma, and allergies. Again, it's all about improving the body's ability to function properly so that the body can better manage all of these conditions on its own.
So now for school-age children all the way through teenagers, chiropractic care can help with a number of things: scoliosis prevention, posture, sports performance, as well as mental and physical performance overall.
And of course, for us adults, everybody knows that chiropractic care is beneficial for neck pain and for low back pain, common gateway problems like that. But the reality is, chiropractic care helps to improve nerve system function. And at the end of the day, your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves impact every other organ, every other system in your body. So it's all about promoting overall health and wellness.
And finally, seniors as well can benefit from chiropractic care. Many seniors deal with osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, other degenerative diseases, and with gentle adjustments, we can help provide improved quality of life, increased range of motion, and help decrease inflammation.
Whether you're a newborn,
A child,
Adults,
all ages.
Chiropractic care can help
Keep your body functioning
at its best.
at its best.
at its best.
If you're in the Nashville area, definitely check out our clinic. All three of us docs are board certified chiropractors in the state of Tennessee. But if you're outside of the area, comment on the YouTube video. We can help you find a chiropractor that's near you, a really good trusted chiropractic source, or just Google chiropractor near you, reach out and schedule an appointment.
Little spine dance.
Spiny spine, spiny spine, spiny spine.
Whiplash.
Mine's so fine.
Whiplash.
Look at how fine my spine be on your mind. I got a fine spine, and it's all mine.
Yo, yo, guys. Welcome back to our show. Okay. Hey, guys. Dr. Zach Farmer here.
Dr. David Hausman.
Yeah, and welcome back to episode 75 of Why.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, this is the Why series. And so the why question we're going to be answering today is an infamous why question. This is a why question that's infamous in everybody's life. Why do I got neck pain?
Why?
Why does 90% of America walking around end up having neck pain at some point in their life?
Well, let me ask you a question. What do the majority of people do about 2 to 3 hours a day minimum?
Maybe this.
Yeah. How many people in your
Or like this.
in your daily life, in your family group, in your friend group, have a cellular device? I'd say the majority. Right?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
And where do you typically hold that device?
Below the eye level.
Below the eye level. Yeah. I don't know where.
Easy arm level, like right out in front of you, 90-degree angle with the elbows.
Now let me ask you a question. What is the degree of the neck curve supposed to be?
Well, that's a great question. So scientific research shows that the normal curve in your neck, for those that don't know, if you're looking at the spine from the side, the purple part of the spine, your neck, it actually should arc, should have a curve. It should not be whoop, straight. That's a bad
Why
ugly
not?
technique.
Wait, don't we want our spine to be straight?
No, well, you want your spine to be nice and straight from the front.
Okay.
And if you ain't, that's called scoliosis or lateral curve in the spine. We don't like scoliosis. No. All right, but if you have it, we still like you. We can help you. From a side view, though, you're supposed to have curves. So nice curve here, nice curve in the blue part of the spine where your ribs attach, and then down there in the low back, the green part of the spine. That's your lumbar spine, low back. Your lumbar spine and your neck should both have similar curves, right? So that's facing forward, that's facing backward. So you're supposed to have this nice arc, to answer your question. Okay. We call it the arc of life, because all the information, the life that your brain sends down your spinal cord has to flow through that arc before it ever gets out down there. Vital organs, heart, lungs, stomach, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, it's supposed to be a 43-degree arc. 42 to 45 degrees is what the research shows, and that's based off of the angle that each of those little purple bones sits on top of one another at. 7.5 degree angle, roughly speaking.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever we lose that curve or we start to have a straighter neck, what is that doing to us? Why do we have pain?
Well, I like to explain it like this to patients. So when you start losing the curve in the neck, you carry around a bowling ball all day long, right? It's called your head. Most people's heads. And that big skull up there weigh anywhere from 14 to 16 pounds, maybe 18 pounds if you're super smart. So that big bowling ball head has to be carried on those neck bones. So the arc up there, an arc is a very strong structure. When you push down from the weight of gravity carrying that head, if you have a good arc structure, you would have to apply so much downward force that you would fracture and break these bones before the shock absorbers in between those bones ever herniate. So before you ever have a disc herniation, if you have a healthy curve, you would have to break the bones to have a disc herniation. So basically what that means is with a healthy curve in your neck, you're never gonna have a disc herniation. Okay. So what happens is you start losing the curve, gravity starts pulling everything forward and you get that straight neck, it totally throws off all the biomechanics. So now if I'm pushing down, boom, it just stacks all of the weight through those bones and it puts all the weight on the front on the disc. So you start having weaker areas in the neck that begin to buckle over time. It's called disc compression and disc herniation. Here's another way to think about it. Structure, right? My car, everybody drives cars. So if you're driving your car and your car's wheels are 1 degree out of alignment and you keep driving 40,000 miles, does the tread on the tires evenly wear?
I don't believe so. No.
You're gonna have like a bald spot on one part of the tire, and the tread's gonna unevenly wear, and you're gonna have certain spots on the tire that will be weaker spots, even though the tire is the same age. Okay. I can't tell you how many times we've had patients that have come in and they're like, I went to orthopedic and he said I've got osteoarthritis in my neck. And I say, oh, well, why do you have osteoarthritis? And they go, oh, well, the doctor said it's just old age. I'm like, so does your entire neck hurt or is it just that one spot? They're like, just that one spot. I'm like, do you have osteoarthritis in your entire neck or just that one spot? They're like, just that one spot. I'm like, but if it's old age, then why don't you have osteoarthritis on all the other levels? And it's not because of old age, it's because of bad structure over time. Similar to like the wheels on the car being out of alignment. So the same story here. 90% of America has neck pain because of structure and alignment issues in the neck that have gone undiagnosed.
Gotcha.
Which begs the next question, well, how could it have gone undiagnosed for so long?
Well, did you go to a spine doctor or to a pain doctor?
Or maybe they just don't have pain yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this whole tech neck phenomena where you lose the curve in the neck is a slow process. It's not like you wake up one day and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna lose my neck today, lose my neck curve. It's a slow process where gravity just starts pulling your head forward, and little by little, over time you build muscle memory around that posture, like that.
Okay.
So 12 years go by, 15 years go by, and then eventually it's been stacked in a bad position for long enough, now you start having pain, right?
Yeah.
So, makes sense.
Another cool fact about pain in general, about how much of our nervous system actually experiences pain.
Oh, yeah, so speaking to that, you can have pressure on a nerve. Sorry, I was tightening the bolt. The hip is like literally falling out. You don't want that to happen to you. Nervous system, how much of the nervous system senses pain?
Yeah, why don't you have pain every time you look forward?
So research shows that out of all of the nerves that we have in our nervous system, which I think is close to about 48 million nerves in your nervous system, only about 8% of them roughly sense pain.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I can have...
It's like a bulk of the nerve function. You could have pressure on a nerve coming out of your spine, and it could be compressing that part of the nerve that isn't pain nerves. And so there's a lot of us that are walking around with damage on nerves and we don't know it because it is affecting nerves that aren't pain nerves.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like I just learned something.
Yeah, I hope you did too.
Yep. So 90% of America, it's probably a higher number than that, has neck pain, but 90% of America has neck pain because we all have spines, and our spines aren't really looked at as being priority in health. right? Like everybody and their mother is like super cognizant of bringing their kids to the dentist, starting good dental care, getting regular 6-month dental checkups. But it's just like not the same mentality for our country for spine.
Yeah, I mean,
right, for like chiropractic, like go get it checked out, get an initial screening, make sure your kid's spine is growing properly with the right curve angles so they don't have issues when they're 18, 25, 30 years of age. But we just don't have that mentality.
Right. Well, what's easier, maintaining your car, putting oil in it, making sure the tires are in line, doing all your normal tune-ups every 3 to 6 months, or just buying a new car for, 20, 30, 40 grand?
Well, there's the problem. Most of us don't want to dump $20,000, $30,000 into a new car, nor do we need to if we were just smart enough and diligent enough to just take care of the one we already have.
Right.
And the same holds true for us as humans. And I would step it up one level from there, and I'd say the car that you're driving is your body.
Right.
Right.
And so we can't upgrade our body, can we?
So we're we can't, but you should upgrade it mentally and start looking at your body instead of a Hyundai, like as a Lamborghini or a Maserati, like a high performance machine. And when we start changing and shifting our perspective like that, it's really easy to start making better decisions for our health, right? Because like if I had a Maserati, like I would make sure the inside of that thing is staying nice and clean. I want to make sure the value of that car is staying where it needs to. I don't want any nicks or dents on the outside of the car. I'm going to put high premium gas in it, right? And I'm going to do those things because I'm going to take care of that car at a very high responsibility level, as opposed to like if I had the ding beater that I got when I was a kid, my first car in 1989, Buick LeSabre, used, that like 175,000 miles on it. And I drove that thing and just like didn't take care of it because it was a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
So I think the important message here is, 90% of America has neck pain because we all have spines, and the structure of our spine has probably been put to the back burner and hasn't really been a priority because of lack of knowledge.
Right.
I think a lot of people just don't know how important it is to do a screening and like check the structure of your spine and make sure things are in the right alignment so you don't end up having problems. And then for others of us, it's already gone on long enough that we are having problems, and now we're kind of behind the 8 ball trying to figure out how to take care of the pain problems now. And unfortunately, we're taking probably extreme measures to do that because we don't know chiropractic care can help us.
Right. Yeah. Why not just take a Tylenol and turn off that check engine light? Or actually fix the problem.
Cover up the check engine light with black tape. Exactly. Now we can get into that on another video, but I mean, yeah, it's absolutely 100% true. So take care of your Maserati, your, Lotus, your whatever fancy car you identify as. Take care of that fancy car, take care of your body, and make healthy decisions for your health. You gotta drink healthy water, eat clean organic food, exercise and get movement in your body, take care of your teeth. Taking care of your spine and your nervous system, though, probably trumps all of those. So if you haven't started that journey, start it today.
Yes, today, right now.
There you go. And that's why 90% of America has neck pain. So if you've enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Help us with the YouTube algorithm, and push the bell so that you get notifications. So every time we drop new videos, you guys are the first ones to see it.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hey everyone, it's the docs at Stronghold Health here with you today. We're going to go over one of the biggest misconceptions with chiropractic care, in that it's only for adults. Chiropractic care is going to be great for infants all the way to seniors, and let's go over some of the reasons why.
For newborns and infants, chiropractic care is phenomenal. It helps with colic, it helps with digestive imbalance, constipation, it even helps with latching difficulty issues with breastfeeding for the little ones. It requires just a little bit of pressure. The adjustments are super gentle. It's the same amount of pressure that you'd use to test the ripeness of a tomato. So chiropractic care is phenomenal for infants and for newborns.
And for toddlers and young children, chiropractic care is very helpful for such childhood conditions as ear infections, asthma, and allergies. Again, it's all about improving the body's ability to function properly so that the body can better manage all of these conditions on its own.
So now for school-age children all the way through teenagers, chiropractic care can help with a number of things: scoliosis prevention, posture, sports performance, as well as mental and physical performance overall.
And of course, for us adults, everybody knows that chiropractic care is beneficial for neck pain and for low back pain, common gateway problems like that. But the reality is, chiropractic care helps to improve nerve system function. And at the end of the day, your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves impact every other organ, every other system in your body. So it's all about promoting overall health and wellness.
And finally, seniors as well can benefit from chiropractic care. Many seniors deal with osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, other degenerative diseases, and with gentle adjustments, we can help provide improved quality of life, increased range of motion, and help decrease inflammation.
Whether you're a newborn,
A child,
Adults,
all
ages. Chiropractic care can help
keep your body functioning
at its best.
at its best.
at its best.
If you're in the Nashville area, definitely check out our clinic. All three of us docs are board certified chiropractors in the state of Tennessee. But if you're outside of the area, comment on the YouTube video. We can help you find a chiropractor that's near you, a really good trusted chiropractic source, or just Google chiropractor near you, reach out and schedule an appointment.